Good evening, everybody, and
Alright.
welcome to another Tuesday night edition of everybody's favorite Rated M podcast. It is Gaming After Dark. I'm your host, Mr. Boom Boom Kaboom. It's Noof Nukem in the room, and we got a dynamite show for you tonight. But let's get the formalities out of the way, shall we? First off, Titan Drago is not joining us tonight. Unfortunately, I guess he's got some company or something on the go and could not make the show. But the two guests that I have rounded up for this week are here and ready to roll. I'll start off by introducing them with first up, the man on screen tonight. He was here several months back, I do believe, and couldn't wait to come back on the show. Since his first time appearance on this podcast, he is now a member of the Retro Renegades. And he also has made some great content on his own channel, which he'll tell you about a bit later. But first off, let's welcome the man who has given us many laughs in the chat as one of our viewers, the Wize Old Gamer.
What's up, chat? What's up, Gaming After Dark? It's a pleasure to be back in the saddle, getting ready for these topics and getting ready to do my normal stuff. Want to say, if I get a $10 super chat, I'll shed my t-shirt and show my perky boobs. So that's incentive enough.
Okay, well, needless to say, pardon the pun, but yes, back in the saddle and definitely not horsing around is the Wize Old Gamer. Should be a good one here. All right, let's get down to a first-time guest of the show. I've been watching him on various podcasts over the last little while, and he was definitely on my list of people to get on here. Obviously, yes, he likes the Xbox platform, and he knows how to throw down with the best of them. Want to welcome, first time ever, Jay Rock.
It's a pleasure. What's up, Chit Chat? I'm here on this show. I can't wait to get it started. I can't wait to see what this whole show is about, man. Thank you for the invite. Thank you, Wize Gamer. I hope we don't see those boobs. We don't, unless it's like a $30.
I'm channeling my inner review tech. That's all I'm doing. I'm channeling my inner review tech.
You need a cucumber.
Yeah, his wife comes in. His wife comes in and wraps hers around his face or something like that.
Oh, no, but I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah. Well, if you guys end up seeing my tits, that's more than my wife has seen in the past month, so it's okay.
There you go. I don't know if you saw my tweet on Twitter, but I said some days I wish it was a pillow because I'd be getting a lot more head. All right. See, that's how we roll at Gaming After Dark. The formalities are out of the way, and the lingo is already dropping like it's hot up in here. And let's get over to our amazing chat, starting out with the one, the only good friend of the show, Mr. Doggy Dog 420 is in the house. Casket Repair is hanging out with us tonight. My good friend, Draven Arrow, and also Spider-Man 356 are here with us. What is going on, guys? From the from the Next Level Gaming, yes, part of the Gamers Guild, Geeks with Cash is in the house. What's going on, Geeks with Cash? Good to see you. Your Wicked Hot is here as well. What's happening? Doggy Dog comes back with the first super chat of the night at $1.99. Tuesday night Gad time. Woo! Yes, indeed. Woo, it is. Apex, what is happening? Mike Mullis is in the house. You know it's going to be a good show when Mike Mullis turns up. Tony Grasso is here as well. What is going on? Iceman LMH, HTK360 for Next Level Gaming as well is here. Good to see you, Bunty. And I think we pretty much caught up with everybody, I think. Tony Grasso, I think I said him already. Dr. Dinglenut. Oh, how could we forget Dr. Dinglenut? All right. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get right into the topic, shall we? Again, you guys are amazing to the chat. And don't forget, if you like this podcast and want to catch out more podcasts that are, well, even better than this one, certainly a lot more production work going into them, check out the www.gamersunitedguild.com. And you can find myself along with many other amazing people, some who are in the chat, and all of their fantastic content. But anyhow, guys, let's get into the first topic, the one that is sort of making the rounds, certainly causing a stir. Is there, where there's smoke, is there fire? That is always the question. If you can't see it on the screen, insiders describe Fast and Furious exit from Xbox Perfect Dark Studio, the initiative. Now, this is certainly one of the ones that Microsoft put together several years ago, headed by, what's his name, Daryl Gallagher, who came over, I do believe, from Crystal Dynamics. And, from there, it's been, we've seen a massive hiring of amazing talent. I mean, it's like the who's who were coming from Naughty Dog and some of the big industries here. And it was almost like, man, this is shaping up to be something else. Several years that kind of went by, wasn't a whole lot to be said. And then finally they said, they've told us what project they're going to be working on, which is basically a reboot of Perfect Dark and the story of Joanna Dark. And we saw that little bit of a teaser, and pretty much that's about as much as we've gotten from there. But here we are, fast forwarding and hoping to get some concrete information from the studio about the game they're working on and how far it is. But it's a different type of headline that's making the rounds, and it's all about the exodus of top talent from the studio. So, I mean, I'm not a developer. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your butt. Could if you wanted me to, but hey, speaking of blowing smoke, looks like Dragon Wise Old Gamer's on fire over there.
Right. Like in a hookah lounge. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
But
I can't blow circles with my smoke, but I can do just about everything else. So don't worry about it.
Puff the Magic Dragon came to the show. All right, but I mean, I'm gonna get you guys' opinion on this. I don't have a lot to say because I don't know enough information. But I mean, like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. There, all of a sudden, you got insiders, you got websites talking about this. I mean, I don't know what is going on. Is it a good look? Is it just is it par for the course? What, or is it COVID? It's kind of concerning when you're putting this money behind. Is it the pressure, or perhaps this is the way it's being directed, or maybe there's too many moving parts coming together at the same time, and nobody really knows what they're doing? Because it's not like, when you got 2 or 3 people entering an established studio that's been there for years, it's a lot easier to kind of hit the ground running. But when you're going to jump in there, and you got to first of all make new friendships, you got to learn new engines, you got to assemble the sum of its parts. You got a major amount of pressure. You've got, millions of dollars behind you, backed by one of the world's biggest companies. You're also, trying to revive a franchise that, while some may not know what it is, many of us who obviously grew up on the N64 and to some degree the 360 know fully well what Perfect Dark represents. And, and it's a title that, is going to come with certain expectations. So how do you guys feel about it? I will start with the Wise Old Gamer first. What do you think is going on? Is it anything to be even concerned about? Or should we just put this one to bed? Take it away.
Well, I'm going to give a hot take here. Okay. So I read this article because you sent me this link and everything. And from the reading of this article, I was reading it and I said, oh, wait a minute. All these people are leaving. All these people are leaving this company, this initiative company. Did Russia invade them too? Is this going to be a humanitarian crisis as well? And I was like, well, I was reading it and I'm like, this is the problem with Microsoft. Okay. I am not a Sony fanboy. Let me go ahead and say that. The problem with Microsoft is some of the developers they got under their helm cannot function independently without some supervision. And the initiative seems to be like one of these companies, if this article is in fact totally factual. Sometimes somebody else has to come in. I remember there's that famous story about Yoshida going into Sony Santa Monica and telling them that their God of War was crap. I think Xbox has the right idea where they're trying to make these games for Game Pass, but they need to corral some of these companies. Now, does Bethesda need somebody to overlook them? Probably not. Obsidian? Probably not. Initiative has not made a single game. Yes, all of those independent developers that they hired made a game, but can they work cohesively? Especially you had some really big developers that were joining helm. And as you know, when you hire some of these developers, they do come off as prima donnas. So just because somebody works well in one group doesn't mean he's going to work or she's going to work well in another group. And I think this is fundamentally the problem if this article is 100% correct. I think that if this is true, this is a worrying trend, because you had the same situation with Rare. You have this game that they've developed. They had no freaking idea. They had just some graphics going, and they don't even know what the game is about. They still don't know what this game is about. And the same thing is going on with the initiative. There has to be somebody watching them. I like the idea that, oh, yeah, we're going to do a hands-off approach, and we're going to let them do what they want to do. Yeah, that's all nice and well if you have already developed games in the past. If you are a new studio, just like the initiative is, you just can't expect them to, hit a home run at their first time at bat. You need to coach them. And that's what they're in dire need of. I think they need a coach.
So is this? Do you think this is the main reason now that Crystal Dynamics was brought in to basically salvage the ship because it was obviously going
I,
downhill?
I think that everyone was just jumping off because there was really no direction. They knew that they had this IP, they had this idea that they wanted to do, but just because you have an idea, starting off with an idea and then ending up with a finished working product is a totally different story. I mean, it just is. I mean, for example, like as many of y'all know, I'm a teacher by trade. You have to, just because you have a bunch of geniuses in your room doesn't mean that those geniuses can win a math contest or anything. You have to corral them. Then that's the thing. I mean, I think this is the biggest problem. Is there a lot of talent in the studio? Yes, but that studio needs a direction. That studio needs a drive. That studio needs a leader. And the problem is right now, the way Microsoft is showing it with their new companies that they have, the new developers that they've hired, they're showing no leadership. And I think that's what's sorely needed. So
I was going to say, Wize Gamer, you as being a teacher, you've seen this all too often, group assignments, right? You get a group assignment and all of a sudden you get 2 or 3 people that carry the load. The rest decide they're going to take the day off because they know that the other ones will carry them through to the A. Then there's sometimes there's miscommunication, there's dissension in the ranks.
But it's even,
so it happens at every level.
But it's even worse than that. Like if you get a group of 3 or 4 people working on the same project and 2 of them are really smart, one person's going to say, no, I'm going to do it my way. The other person's going to say, no, I'm going to do it my way. You need that third person to come in and say, you know what? No, you're going to do it this way. And that's what I think there was. I mean, you have David Gallagher, who was the other guy who left for Insomniac. That was
Drew Murray. He came from Insomniac and then he went back.
I mean, these names may not be big to the layperson, but in the gaming circles, these names are big. So obviously, if you carry these names, I'm not saying they all have attitudes, but you must know that you have some sort of personality. And I can see them sitting in a boardroom on a round table talking about, I think it should be done this way. No, I think it should be done this way. So what happens? Nothing gets done. And that's fundamentally the problem.
Yeah. So. Spider-Man in the chat brings it up too. Like, yes, Sony has their problems. We totally get it. They've lost people. I mean, obviously, Naughty Dog has been losing various talent, so it is not entirely new. But but
Naughty Dog had a vision. No, Naughty Dog had a vision. I'm sorry to say, Last of Us 2, they had a vision. Now, did you agree with the vision? I mean, do you like playing with a potential transvestite as a main character? I don't know, but at least that's what. That's what they wanted. That's what they got. They got a finished product. Right now, the problem is there is no finished product.
All right.
I must have played a different game. I don't recall any tranny in there, but okay.
Hey, when you close your eyes, you can imagine anything. Let's put it that way.
Oh, shit, man. It's hard to say, but I mean, obviously, it's not an enviable role, and like Iceman says, it's still a bad look, no matter how you spend it, especially, considering, people leave all the time toward the end of a project, obviously, because so much of a lot of big games is contractual. They bring in the various contractors to do parts of a game or QA or whatever it might be. But when you hire that much talent and then all of a sudden everybody's kind of exiting and you see their titles and they're not just like, these are like key title roles in most cases, but I think it's obviously, like I said, David Gallagher, whatever his name is, like his connection with Crystal Dynamics is obviously strong. And it's amazing that Square Enix is, willing to let them come over and help out with the project. But hey, I'm sure Microsoft is probably tossing some money at them here. Like, well, we're going to pay X amount of dollar for you guys, or maybe there's even royalties in this for you guys from Perfect Dark. Who knows?
Now, I don't want to play, tinfoil hat here, but let's just since we are speculating, let's speculate. Yeah, I bet this is probably what happened. I bet that spies. Gallagher was. They were all
spies for Sony.
Well, they're not spies for Sony. No, Gallagher had a vision. Gallagher wants it done one way. There was probably another faction of people who wanted the game to go in another direction. Gallagher probably was like, okay, no, we want it this way. And that other faction was like, well, if you don't do it this way, we walk. They walked. That's why I think Crystal Dynamics came in, because Gallagher said, look, if you want this game, you got to bring these people. These are the people that I work with. And so when he brought those people in, some of the other people may have said, okay, well, screw you guys. I'm going home. I think that's what happened, really. And I think we're just coming.
Well, take it away, Jay. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, from my understanding, most of the people started leaving after Crystal Dynamics came in. So it could be something that there was just too many chefs in the kitchen, too many chiefs, not
Right.
enough Indians. Like sometimes when you assemble an all-star team, doesn't necessarily pay off because there's a hard time gelling. Maybe there's too many. A lot of from what I'm understanding, there was a lot of ideas being thrown around, but nothing concrete, and they were getting a hard
Right.
time just nailing a concept down and taking off with it. So as a leader, Daryl brought his team that he's comfortable with. And we see this a lot in sports. You know, like a new
What was it? The
coach, new
Dream
head
Team?
coach, right?
Wasn't it
A
the
new
Dream
G,
Team? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
yeah, a new GM will come in. He'll clean house, bring his team that he's comfortable in, and get the program running. So I think the optics are bad, but ultimately, it's a brand new studio, and it takes
Mm.
time. There's COVID. We could see what this new studio Sony did. I think in Quebec, Canada, they're trying to build a new studio in Quebec and in Japan.
Mm.
We haven't heard anything from them either, because it's hard to bring up to start a brand new studio, and we're
Well,
doing
here's
during a
But here's
pandemic,
the thing as well.
bring
Here's
here's
the
an
thing as
creating
here,
a
hang on.
culture.
Here's an interesting quote from this article though. One person said, "Making games is hard enough, let alone when you feel like you can't get through to the people making decisions that affect everyone."
Right. hmm
well,
and
it's
that's what
go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I mean it's gotten to the point. It's not just bad optics. This is massively bad optics because this was Microsoft's answer to Naughty Dog. Remember when they first created this team?
Mhm.
This was
Mhm.
they put it in Santa Monica so they can poach people from Santa Monica and from Naughty Dog, and they made this big hoopla about this. This is going to be our not our triple A, our quadruple A
Quadruple A.
studio, right? Quadruple A. I don't know if you remember this. It was a couple of years ago, right? And they were hyping this thing up and blah 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 blah. They showed David Gallagher's little daughter playing this game, etc., on Twitter and everything, and they made this huge commotion about it. The problem sometimes with Microsoft is I think sometimes they're a little bit too open. They just don't know when to shut up, right?
Mhm.
You see Sony, they hired that girl Jade Raymond from Stadia, who she also did Assassin's
Right.
Creed with Ubisoft. You've not heard a peep from that. You've not seen
Mm-mm.
Sony or even Nintendo say, "Oh my God, look at our wonderful studio." I think this should teach Microsoft a lesson to know when to hold them and know when to show them, know when to hold them, basically.
Right.
And
Right.
I think they just talk way too much. And this getting out is massive egg on their face. And I think this is a learning experience for Microsoft to know, okay, maybe we shouldn't say anything until we have a game, until we have something to
Yeah, I
show.
mean,
Say,
this doesn't mean the game's going to come out and bomb, but it certainly means that the game is
hmm
highly likely put well behind its production schedule.
yeah,
Right. Right. I agree. I mean, the
Go ahead,
reason I'm
Jay.
not too concerned because I always hear these doom and gloom articles all the time. We heard it with Halo Infinite, and it turned out great. Um,
no,
like
it's
for
not the
for
doom and
me,
gloom that I'm worried about. It's
yeah,
the optics.
yeah, the optics. I mean, it's hard for me to care too much about it. It's behind the scene things. Let them deal with it. But I've heard it all before with other projects from Microsoft. My whole thing is I wish Microsoft would strike a balance because earlier on they were criticized for being too hands-on. Remember a few years back, oh, Microsoft doesn't let these studios do whatever they want. They're too hands-on, and now they're too lenient. So I hope they could just strike a balance where, like you guys previously stated, that a brand new startup company, maybe they should be a little more hands-on than they are with people from Bethesda or in the future Activision. Even though I believe that some of those Activision teams need some
You
hands-on,
know what this
especially with Call of Duty franchise.
you know what this sounds like? This sounds
Mm,
like, you're dating this girl you met on Tinder or you picked up off of the street for $50 an hour, and you're going to say, "Oh
Jesus.
yeah, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give it to you." And you brag all through dinner and everything, and then when the time
And you
comes
blow
to
your
put it
load.
up, it doesn't go up. It doesn't go up. And that's what I'm saying. I can speak from experience. My I've heard stories. Okay, let's put it that way. Yeah, and that's what it looks like. They
You
were
know
building. Oh, it's
they got some honey for
quadruple A.
that. They got some
Yeah.
royal honey for that.
Yeah. So it just seems like a big letdown. I mean, it's like you hype this stuff up. I mean, I know the game's not out
I'm
yet, but you
I'm
hype this
gonna
team
agree
up.
right here. This is the way I feel. I mean, I love Microsoft dearly, but Eric the Red sums up how I've been feeling. I just feel like somebody needs to jump in there and say, like, guys, get some shit done because Microsoft got too many devs dragging their feet on their games. Like with the amount of studios they have now, shit needs to start coming down the pipe, man. Like seriously, like this isn't Microsoft. We got money, we got the backing and all this stuff, and just because we go on Game Pass now, we can take 5 years on every fucking project. Like get the shit done. I mean, Insomniac put out 7 games in around about 5 years or some bullshit. So if they can put out top quality stuff and do it in a fairly decent clip, what the fuck is taking everybody else so long?
Well, see, and that's the shit that's bothering me because, like, remember before these major acquisitions happened, we had all these minor acquisitions with like Obsidian and Compulsion Game and In Exile and all this stuff, right? We've heard rumors, but we have yet not heard what Compulsion is doing. We have not yet heard what In Exile is doing, and it's basically a manifestation of that effect.
Rare,
Yeah,
okay?
all rumors.
Rare is one of the first companies that Microsoft bought. What the fuck have they made since the 360? They basically made one game, like fucking Sea of Thieves, and that was even half-assed when it came out. That
was a piece of turd. Yeah, that shit was a turd.
Don't sit here and defend them because that shit
when initially launched, it was bad, but now Sea of Thieves is its own little movie.
Now. But what else are they making since that? Are they just going to be Rare is going to be the Sea of Thieves update fucking team? Like, where's the rest of their games?
No, they're making that Everwild, man. Like,
but they don't even know what the fuck Everwild is.
Yeah,
that's the point. They don't even know. Nobody fucking knows. It's just sitting there. It's a bunch of little cell shaded graphics. It looks pretty, but what the fuck is it? Nobody knows.
I think Everwild, when it does, that's going to be a trash game. I'd be really surprised if it's anything decent.
It's gonna be the same exact crap as Sea of Thieves, and I know people are gonna hate me what I'm about to say. I think Rare did a mulligan here. I mean, with Sea of Thieves, I mean, literally they put this game out, and then they said, okay, here, have at it. This is the general idea for it, and then they saw how people started playing with it. Then they started feeding that content, and then now it's become what it is now. And it didn't really have a direction. It's same problem. It didn't have a direction when it first came out. There was nothing to do in that game. Not a drawing.
What happens if Microsoft says take your time? They said that to turn 10, and where the fuck is the next Forza game, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We should be seeing something this year on that new Forza game.
Have you ever seen somebody who is trying to lose weight and they eat healthy, but then they don't exercise, or they exercise like a dog, but they eat like freaking crap, right? They don't have the full picture, right? And I think Microsoft, this is the problem. This is the main problem that they had with the transition between the One era and the Series X. Now, they realized that they need developers, and so they went out and bought some because their wallets are big. But the problem is they didn't realize that, hey, with these developers, yeah, we may not have to organically grow them things, but at least you have to watch over some of these guys. And so, I don't think they really know.
Jesse,
let's never repeat organically grown those words.
Jesse, just let me say, I put up the article on the screen, and if you read down through the article, there's not just one person that left and went back to the studio, dude. It's like literally, I counted over 20 odd people, and most of them since last summer. It's crazy. So something is definitely
Drew Murray. He came with that. I won't say excuse because I don't know his personal life, but he was. Listen, I'm leaving for personal reasons. 2 weeks later, he rejoins us.
Insomniac. Or Insomniac,
yeah, that was bullshit. I like what J Rock said earlier, though. I'm like, this whole thing. The initiative kind of just reminds me of like an NFL team or a basketball team with a bunch of studs on it, you know. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get them really great players to work together because they want the ball.
Exactly.
It's hard to share that ball around when you got so much of this beastly talent, and that's literally what they had. The initiative. It's gotta have the top tier of the top tier developers in the industry, and there was so many of them. Right? They've lost like what? I don't remember the number, 12 or something over the past year, whatever it was, whatever those numbers were, it was something like that. but they lost a lot of talent, and they still have a ton of talent on that team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
if Microsoft still doesn't start giving us some fucking dates and times, they're going to be just like fucking Sony was for a period there, where you just had all those great looking games and nobody knew when the fuck they were coming.
I think a lot of people are forgetting that, hey, the Initiative's building was fucking built not too long ago. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they're on the ball, maybe they're not, but damn, that fucking building got built not too long ago. So this is a part where people take something and run with it and blow it out of proportion. That's just kind of human nature, and it's really hitting them. But I do think there's something wrong with that place. Like you managing that all-star
growing pains. Definitely growing pains right now.
Growing pains, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
They're not established.
How much of it?
Yeah.
And I mean, how much of it really is growing pains, and how much of it is that they really have not really sort of figured out how to own a company or how to manage a company?
To your point, none of the studios, right, that they've built from the ground up have put anything out yet, right?
This is the only. Which other studio they build from the ground up?
Are we talking about the ones they purchased recently?
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, everyone's talking about, this is the thing that really also grinds my gears in this regard. Everyone's talking about Starfield and how Starfield is going to be the next coming of Jesus Christ or something like that. And I'm hoping that it is good. And the premise sounds really fine to me. But Starfield, Bethesda, as I said earlier, did not need a manager. They had that game up and running. They
have God Howard.
Yeah. Now, what happens when? After Starfield, well, I even think Bethesda is going to be fine because they have leaders. I think the Initiative's biggest problem is they don't have any leaders. They have a bunch of chefs in the kitchen.
Look at it this way: the Vikings are a perfect fucking example. You had Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer, the head coach. We got fired this offseason. He was a head coach of Super Bowl winning head coach for the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. He's got all this experience, all this defensive knowledge. He's a defensive minded genius. And he comes into Minnesota. He puts together a good team. Years go by, and he's got they get Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs after a year he wants out. I feel like that's kind of the same way what's going on at the Initiative, right? It doesn't matter who you have leading the helm when you got prima donnas like Stephon Diggs that want the ball more. That want their voice heard more, and especially with a game like Perfect Dark, like all their credit. Like another reason what a lot of people aren't mentioning is since they're remaking Perfect Dark, an established historic franchise, they didn't make it easy on themselves. I don't know why they just didn't come up with a new fucking IP. Why are they making it hard on themselves? They had to. All right, so. Like maybe they're gonna reuse some assets. Like what? Like no, they got no.
Well, no, I think what it was that because of the caliber of developers that they had, they felt that hey, yeah, they can take one of most of these beloved franchises and run with it. But they did not know that what they had were just really all-star developers with really no direction. And you're right, they should have done something where they had a new IP. And that would have been at least a lot easier a pill to swallow than for them to take something like Perfect Dark, a new company that was not ever tried or tested ever to get a franchise like this under their belt. I think it was just they just bitten off more than they can chew. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, everyone's like credibility's on the line, and when you got to live up to the name like Perfect Dark, this is a franchise we loved back on the Nintendo 64, and. Yeah. You're never gonna are you gonna be able to match that hype? One guy wants to go one direction, one guy wants to go another direction, and you can't please everybody. It's just I don't know why they didn't start with a new IP.
It's like you want an anal and the wife says no. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit's gonna hit the fan one way or the other.
A lot of different ideas, a lot of philosophical approaches to games. Sometimes less is more.
Yeah, I told my wife I wanted. No, she says, "Fuck that shit." I said, "Exactly."
That's why we got you on here, Wize.
Oh, oh man. Any final thoughts on that one, J Rock?
No, man, I'm not really. Listen, the optics are bad, but I'm not really too concerned.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to see some gameplay footage and see what they have in store. Like this is my only problem with Microsoft right now is that they're too quiet when it comes to their projects. They're too silent. We're getting state of plays on the other side.
Yeah.
Even if they're dog shit state of plays, they're still state of plays. You know, somebody's liking them. You know, there's a little roadmap to the future. Like right now, a roadmap for this year is Starfield.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and you're right about that. They're really quick to trump it up. Oh, we got this publisher. Oh, we got this developer. Oh, I'm happy that you got all these people. Where are the freaking games? What am I going to play? I can't play a developer unless she's hot. Then maybe I can play with her. But then other than that, I can't do anything with it.
Literally, what is it? Gran Turismo 7, they had like their own little show or even a little trailer of photo mode of how they improved the photo mode over the last game. Even something like that. I mean, it's better.
They're doing 2 freaking state of plays in what, 2 weeks? Like
2
they
weeks,
did that,
yeah.
Japanese state of play with some dog shit games in there. And then they got this Hogwarts Legacy coming out. I know that's another topic, but at least that shows that, hey, we got games in the pipeline. We got games that are coming out. Apart from Starfield, we think the next Forza is going to come out this year. We hope that maybe next year Hellblade 2 will drop, but we have we're thinking Redfall sometime this year will come. But apart from that, what do we have? Besides, we just have promises.
Jesse Darby brings up in the chat too. Who knows? Maybe there's a purchase coming of Crystal Dynamics. You never know. So, and not all the time. Not always losses are always a bad thing, right? Like even in the world of sports, like Titan alluded to. Sometimes we look at it and you see a loss and you get rid of a player, but sometimes you get stuff back better in return, or sometimes you get rid of a player that while they might have great statistics. Or they might have a great portfolio. They're a cancer. They're a cancer in the dressing room. Or they're a cancer to a team.
Look at the Lakers and Russell Westbrook now. Triple double galore and all these stats, but it's not working out for them.
Remember when Jordan went to the Wizards? He thought that he could do this by himself. Yeah. What happened? Not a darn thing. That was Jordan. So there you go.
And not everybody. Listen, Jordan was a great player, but he's a atrocious GM. Right? With the whole Kwame Brown first pick, you would think, some of the greatest minds, greatest basketball players don't really translate to being great leaders.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a question about this. How much do you guys feel now that this has gotten Twitter buzz that this game is going to be examined further in more detail than it would have normally? I think that this puts a hyper focus on this game whenever it does come out in 2024, 2025. And I think there's going to be more of a critical eye on this game than it normally would have been. What do y'all think?
Just because it's an Xbox studio, it's going to have that inherently.
Right.
And then on top of that, it's a beloved franchise, a historic franchise instead of a new IP. I mean, they're just not doing themselves any fucking favors, man. Like, God, the decision-making process is like when they got together, who the fuck brought up Perfect Dark?
That's what I'm saying.
Who said they need a Perfect Dark remake? I don't get it. Because you know what? I'm surprised they didn't get kind of deterred by that because it wasn't long before where they remade GoldenEye 007 on the Xbox One, and that was terrible. When they
you're absolutely right. I mean, like I think the majority of fans and same in the chat. I mean, yes, while we're sort of excited for Perfect Dark, I think at least me, I know I was hoping for a new IP from the initiative. I was hoping to see what they would, completely do with a fresh new idea and just go for it. But, I mean, obviously Perfect Dark could turn out to, I don't know, is it going to be first person? Is it going to be third person? Is it going to be hybrid? It could be a lot of things, but they're banking on, the nostalgia of the old name. But there's only, a lot of new kids today, they're not going to resonate with it because they don't even know what Perfect Dark is. It's only us old farts that went through the N64 era that even have, so a name can't always save a game. And especially coming from a new studio, there's a lot riding on this particular thing. Hey, Titan, guess who's in the chat, man?
Joe Dunmore. I was just looking at that, and addition by subtraction. Yeah, a negative subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding, man. So there you go.
Mhm.
Or a negative times a negative equals a positive. There you go.
Well, look, at the end of the
much
day, we
math.
trust that they're still in good hands. They still got Daryl and the company at the lead. They've got the help of Crystal Dynamics, so obviously know what they're doing. They have a track record for making some great games. So even though, yes, we know they slipped a little bit with the Avengers or what have you, but they made some good games and all that overall. So hopefully, maybe this follows in the footsteps of Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider series. That's what we can hope for, I suppose, and we'll just have to see. Maybe if we're lucky, we see a little bit of something this year. Perhaps that will nullify this negativity going around, just to kind of okay, and maybe it's still a long ways away. But either which way, this game or any other game that's in Microsoft's portfolio, we need to see a little bit of a roadmap now at this point. Because a lot of the big games that we expected last year, they're out and they did well, but we want to know there's a little bit more than just Starfield and potentially Forza to look forward to in the near future. A lot of these studios have not just the initiative, but other studios, they've been cooking for a long time, very silent. So it is time now to start showing. Now that you got Bethesda, and next year, when the ink dries on the contracts, you're going to have Activision. So there really is no excuse when you got over 30 developers now that you shouldn't see a steady glut of games at a reasonably decent pace. And yes, we're going to chalk a lot of it up to COVID and delays, but at some point in time, that's got to be in the back. That's got to go to the back burner. You can't use that forever. You got to move on. As restrictions lift across the world in different countries, you got to get back to work. I've been working. God damn it. I didn't get no time off. I've been there serving shitheads all fucking day long at my job. God damn it. Risking my health. But, there it is. Wearing goddamn face diapers and shit and taking 3 vaccines and all that crap. I'm probably going to have fucking sideways hemorrhoids and fucking illegitimate kids. Well, I probably already got them somewhere. You know what I mean? So,
I'm waiting on the day where someone knocks on my door and be like, this is your kid. And he's probably fucking 20 by now from the Navy.
So
neither of my kids look like me. My wife told me she had an affair. I said you did the right thing. So
wow,
the milkman coming.
Because God knows you don't need two more pieces of shit looking like me running around the world. Let's put it that way.
So
that's why I believe the gene pool needs a lifeguard. That's all I'm saying.
Oh
man, we need more brilliant minds, though. That's for sure. It's getting stupid as fuck out here in the Twitter streets, man. Unfucking.
But that's another point too. Like, we're talking about it, and sure, like we're speculating. We don't know what's going on, so take this with a grain of salt. We're speculating based on an article, but you can't deny the fact that they've had a mass exodus within the last while, and like I said, it's just not a good look. It means something stinks. Because you don't see that many high-profile people leave, especially, fairly early in a life cycle. Like, you're leaving at the end because your contract's up and your kind of work is done or whatever. But, like, when it's going like this, it's kind of like, something's not right. And then you, of course, bringing in Crystal Dynamics, that either looks really good or can look really bad. It's like, yeah, they're so fucking far in trouble. They got to reach out and get a hand-me-down here. They got to get another team that knows what they're doing to come in and pick up the slack. So who the hell knows? I don't know, man. But, yeah, it is what it is. We do wish the initiative well. We hope that they keep things on track and they can make a great product. At the end of the day, if the game comes out and it hits a home run, that's all we can ask for. That's all we hope for. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, how many people leave or come, as long as the job gets done and we have a great product to enjoy at the end of it.
Listen, that's exactly what I tell her all the time. As long as I come and the job gets done. That's all that matters, baby.
Well, that's why Jizz is white and urine is yellow, so that a man knows whether they're coming or going.
No.
See, how does he do that? Where does that come from?
You don't know where that comes
Well,
from
it
yet,
can't-
Titan? Jesus.
Shit, I don't have
We
them
gotta
neural
explain-
pathways in my head, man.
We got to explain that to Titan Drago tonight, guys. There is no hope for any of us.
Well, when a man and a woman loves each other really quite a lot, I'm just.
I do not
going-
teach sex education.
That's obvious.
Hey, I'm a mathematician. I don't die, I multiply. So there you go.
Oh man.
But yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it really is the wise old gamer. Absolutely. Well, since we're at that point of the show, we might as well get the Ask Arnold point out of the way before we move into topic number 2. So, hello, Princess Solid. Good to see you in the chat. Kylo Milo, Eric the Red. What's going on? Metal Gear Squall. Jesse Darby. What's happening, everybody? Iceman, Geeks with Cash. Axel 1324 is in the house. What's going on? We got Bearded Banga. I love midgets. Phantom Crack is in the house. Abacab. Tony Grasso. Joe Dunmore. Yeah, John 907. What's going on, brother? Good to see you here. Spider-Man 356. The list goes on. We got Stream Triumphantly. What's happening? Good to see everybody here. Great crew tonight. Share this, guys, out. Like, subscribe. Yeah, it's getting close to that 1,800 subs. So, yeah, keep them coming, guys. Appreciate it. But anyway, let's get into the Ask Arnold. Whoever has a question ready to roll, people in the chat, go for it. Arnold is in the house.
I got a question for Arnold. I got actually 2 questions. I'll ask one and then you can answer it. And then later on, if we have time, I'll ask the other one. So my first question is this. Well, hey, Arnold, I heard that in the beginning when you were lifting weights, you were injecting yourself with steroids. After injecting yourself with all those steroids, did it make anal easier?
No, actually, what I was doing, I wasn't injecting them with steroids. What I was doing was really, I was actually getting breast implants, long before they become popular, and I was inserting them into various pockets of my skin. That's what it does, and it gives you this nice bulky glow. You just got to be very careful about how that you pump the way that you flex your muscles, because the shit could pop, and that's not a good scenario. Yes.
That's a good one. We got a question here.
Question.
Oh,
Keep them coming.
Metal Gear Squall says, "Hey Arnold, are you coming or going?"
I am always coming. Always coming. Wanted to be going anywhere unless it's somewhere important. But coming is very important to me. When she's got her mouth open, I come. That's what I want to do. Swallow that bitch. Get in there.
we got one from
Arnold, I
Iceman.
want to know what's your favorite what's your drink of choice? What's your alcoholic beverage of choice?
Something very strong, just like I am. I want something very strong, something can put down a horse in like a couple of minutes, that sort of thing. I want very strong drink. I want to feel it. I don't want to sit there all night and wait for the bonds to kick in. You know what I mean? That's for pussies, like Stallone. That's what they do.
Yeah, don't ever accept a drink from the wise old gamer, though. All right, do me that favor.
Hey, my drinks come certified from Bill Cosby.
Cosby.
Oh.
The Cosby's.
Knocked it out of the park there.
Oh man.
I got a question for Arnold. Can I ask? Is it too soon?
Go ahead.
Hey Arnold, who's got bigger balls, you or Zelensky?
Look, honestly, it's got to be Zelensky. Okay, you almost made me choke on my own saliva. Then look, Zelensky, the guy is amazing. The guy's a little pipsqueak. He's very small, but he's got giant balls. He probably treads on them when he's trying to get through his own secretariat office. I mean, my God, he's going up against the juggernaut, and he's putting his nuts right out there in the front line. It's crazy crap what's going on over there. Zelensky, you got to keep doing it. You know what's even amazing? You even got the Klitschko brothers out there with the guns ready to take up arms and kick ass. Honest to God, that's what I would pay for on YouTube. I want to see Vladimir Klitschko in and knock Putin out. Get in the office, fucking punch him in the head, take it right off.
Got 2 amazing questions in the chat here. I got to read. This one's from I Love Midgets. Hey Arnold, who is your daddy and what does he do?
Well, my daddy, I don't even know who the daddy was, but somebody came into my house when the mother was asleep and then he stuck something in there. And what does he do? He made me. That's what he did. He gave her the hot beef injection, and here I am. 60 odd years later, I'm rocking it, baby. I'm still hot to trot. Let's go.
And the other excellent question from Chris Jones. Arnold, why don't you play Smite with Drago?
Because Smite is for losers. And if I play Smite, I'm never going to be a winner at anything in this life. Titan Drago, the guy just loves it. I don't know what is wrong. He's got a very bad addiction to that game. And I don't understand it. Nobody else in this podcast, or not even in the panel in the chat, want to play with the Smite. Christ.
Y'all need some thicker skin is all, man.
Smite, is that like the bum crumbs you find on the old lady when she's back onto you? It's a little bit of Smite.
Never heard of bum crumbs.
Well, we know Smite rhymes with tight, so that means Drogo is not going to be good at it. Won't be able to handle it.
No.
Okay.
I just wonder if it's true. I heard Maria calls Arnold Turbo Man in bed because he doesn't last long.
That is absolutely true. I don't know where you heard the rumor, but don't listen to anything they said. But it's true.
What the fuck? Don't listen to it, but it's true.
No, I quell the rumors, but it's true. But I don't want to tell anybody that. It's only for me to know. Of course, the podcast knows, and everybody that all 40 of you guys here watching. But that's it. You got to keep it hush hush and the down low. It's a minute to win it in here. Minute Man gets it done. Like Minute Rice. Let's go. Let's do it. Turbo time. Let's go. Open your twat. I'm getting hot.
All right, there we go, guys. Enough questions for Arnold. We'll be back again next week. Thank you, Arnold, for all that shit. Yeah, well, let's move right along. Next topic of the night. We see that obviously the Halo show is just around the corner. Read a review from IGN. They gave it a 7 on the initial opening, on the initial opener, or the what do you call them, the prologue, or whatever the hell they start with. So it sounds like it's a pretty good show, and it has lots of potential to do well. It's obviously been renewed for a second season. And we see that the new Sonic 2 movie is coming out just around the corner. And at least the poster for the movie looks amazing. And if anybody saw the trailer, it looks like it should be as good, if not better, than the original movie. So it's just a testament from the stuff that we've seen lately. Are games finally taking over the mainstream? Are they finally integrated into Hollywood, into TV shows? We're seeing a lot of it. It's kind of funny that some of the best shows and movies are now based off of video game properties. Minus Resident Evil, that's always hit and miss. But how do you guys feel about that? What is your go-to property? How do you feel about it all? And are you excited about the Sonic movie? Are you excited about the Halo show? Let's start with J-Rock in this one. J-Rock, how about you, man? What do you think is going on? How cool is it to see games starting to be sort of go that? Because, back in the day, like in the 80s and 90s, basically it was movies getting made into video games. Now we're seeing the kind of the opposite, where games are getting made into properties.
Yeah, I think it's awesome when it's done well, and when they stick to, except for that Uncharted movie, that was dog shit. But listen, but I do enjoy it, man. When they stick to the material and the source, and they do it justice. Like my favorite one recently might have been the Tomb Raider. I think it came out in 2018. My only problem was her big ass forehead, but other than that movie was great. I liked it. And Detective Pikachu, when that came out, I enjoyed it. But I'm hearing some of the reviews, and I'm kind of concerned about this Halo thing. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm hearing that it's not centered around Master Chief. And if that's the case, I'm not gonna enjoy it at all.
Who would? What gamer would, anyways?
I'm like,
well, if you're worried about the big ass forehead, just put a brown paper bag on top. It'll cover it all up. It'll be just fine.
Bro, I'm like, how is she even sneaking up on anybody, bro? That shit is beaming.
Yeah, that's true. Every gamer is going to be let down by that, and like only the casuals. And then is it going to draw the casual or people that don't know the history of the game? Is that going to draw them in?
I read an article, and first of all, it sounds like they're adamant about making sure that Master Chief takes his fucking helmet off whenever possible. That's the first thing. Second thing, it's based on the events prior to the fall of Reach. And it's loosely based on the game property, but it's going to be a lot of other takes on it, so to speak. So it's Master Chief, but like I'm with J Rock, man. If this is going to be about social justice warrior, what do you call it? Like politically correct, making characters that
woke.
really don't need to be the woke characters, just because that's the trend now. Is the then I'm not
beta fett. Like, no, I don't want to
Exactly.
see no beta fett.
Absolutely. Like that movie with like the Immortals. This is like that movie looked like it stank to me, but I don't know.
Well, that's what they also said with the new Lord of the Rings. I mean, I know it's not based off of any games, but they said that's totally atrocious. I think Sir Ian McKellen said that it's just it's a disgrace to the original source material. So that's so much for that, and that's because of that very reason, because of all this social justice stuff going around. So yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for stuff. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like studios aren't even putting a lot of thought. It's just kind of like, well, that's the trend. This should be popular. Let's pump some money into something and slap it out there. You know what I mean?
Well, that kind of goes back to what I talked about last week when I talked about the lack of imagination in today's world, and everyone taking offense to everything, which stifles creativity in and of itself. So like, they're kind of falling back on, all these remakes and all, like not much new has been created, terrible music, a lot of terrible shows, like reality TV shows. Haven't they run their course fucking yet?
No.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I wish they would.
Please.
To be honest with you, I barely watch any live television anymore. Everything is either my Fire Stick, a Netflix, or some other type of streaming or anime. But
do you still have cable?
Nah, I don't.
I cut the cord myself
a
while ago.
No cable for me.
I mean, I think the last great video game movie or adaptation that I liked, it wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they knew how to play up to the people who would be watching that movie. And that movie was the original Mortal Kombat that came out in the late 90s, middle 90s. Do y'all remember that with the whole I mean,
I fucking love that movie.
That movie was like, to me, the pinnacle of gaming movies. And to be honest with you, to this day, I cannot remember seeing a movie that had me at the edge of my seat from the beginning all the way to the end. And I mean, maybe I was just young and right. Maybe I was young, dumb, and full of cum back then. But then it did it for me. I mean, it was like that. The music was hitting, the costumes were great, and there was a lot of girls and showing off everything that they had. Hey, I'm happy. That movie had everything I needed to be in it.
How about that Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah, it was so bad that the lead actor died afterwards. Yeah.
Oh, Julia, yeah. Oh man, wow. Yeah, there's been a lot of bad ones. I gotta say, like that Sonic one was pretty surprising when it came out a couple years ago. Thank God they did change Sonic's design, because that first fucking design they had from was friggin' hideous. I mean, I don't know. I heard one or two people say, "I really liked it." It's like, but it didn't even look like it was just hideous. I don't know what they were going for, but it was just terrible looking. It looked like some weird frigged out blue creature with friggin' with dentures. You know what I mean?
The new version was definitely 100 times better. And you mentioned the cover art of the new movie, the second man. I like the fact that they kind of
copied the game.
Yeah, like they mimicked the game heavily, even like down to the number 2 had the same like pattern on it. It was really cool the way
that was
did
cool.
That.
Okay, here's another hot take. How much of this original Sonic movie was a decent Sonic movie, and how much was it, they went back and did Sonic right, and therefore I'm going to give a little bit more of a pass? mean, because I watched the movie and I thought the movie was good, but it wasn't like, the best thing since sliced bread that Twitter was all talking about. Oh my God, it's the best movie ever. The plot was sort of okay. I mean, yeah, Sonic looked great and everything like that, but I would say it was like a 7 out of 10. And I think really a lot of it was stemming from the fact that they went back to the drawing board, and you've never seen a studio ever do that in the past. So I think for us as gamers, I think a lot of us felt like, hey, they actually went back, therefore we should, give them the benefit of the doubt. Whereas if Sonic looked like that from the beginning and they didn't have to go back and this is the movie they released, I still think that movie would have been like a 7, maybe a 6.5. And that's just my take on it. So, yeah.
The one movie they need to bring back like ASAP? They need to
Debbie
bring
Does
back
Dallas.
Spawn, baby.
Oh,
Spawn, yeah.
Spawn.
Not that movie.
I like that first Spawn. I thought it was cool, but imagine that Spawn made today with better special effects. Like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's a good question, I think, for everyone. And in the chat, let us know your opinion, too. But which one did it better? The most recent Mortal Kombat movie or Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sonic.
Which one? Let's give us a 1 for Mortal Kombat and a 2 for Sonic.
Sonic. Yeah.
Now, see, I like that Tomb Raider movie that came out a couple years ago. At least it stayed somewhat true to the video game that released in 2013. You used a lot of cinematic. Some people still didn't like the actress, but I thought Alicia Vikander did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah, she did a great job.
So, some people just can't get over the fact it wasn't Angelina Jolie, but, that was the best part about the old Tomb Raider ones was Angelina Jolie, but the movies themselves were pretty well shitty. They weren't that great. They had potential. And honestly, that Uncharted movie, that could have been fixed with the casting alone. All you had to do was fucking cast Nathan Fillion as
every fucking time.
Nathan Fillion, J.K. Simmons is fucking as Sully, right? And what was that girl? I think you brought her up, Titan, about the one Elena Fisher would have been good.
I don't even remember that.
I think you were bringing about somebody, but that shit would have been. Sir X-Men says they are working on a new Spawn movies. He drops a super chat for $2. That is awesome. Good to know. Kind of sucks. I'm pretty sure Michael Jai White is not going to be in it, but I love Michael Jai White. He's awesome. But yeah. But anyway,
and that dude is a legit martial artist too, man.
Oh man, he's awesome, man. I see some of the videos he posts. Yeah, he's deadly.
It was 1 for Mortal Kombat and 2 for
J-Rock. You ever see Blood and Bone?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh, it was a good movie.
2 for Sonic.
Yes.
I still think so. Go ahead.
1 for Mortal Kombat, 2 for Sonic in the chat. Which one do you think did it better?
I still think some of the best video game movies can be found on Pornhub. That's just me.
Wize, when are you getting one of them VR with the whole blow up doll?
Was there?
I know you're saving up.
I already have it.
Let me ask
was there a Sony PlayStation porn on there called My Little Pony?
Yeah, exactly. That's where this guy came from.
Whoa! That is one hell of a flashlight over there.
Whoa. Mouth ready to go and everything, yo. Let me see that thing again. Let me see that thing again. Oh my God!
Look at that!
My mouth wide open. Oh no!
Yeah. And if I squeeze his lips down, I can finally fit inside of it. So.
Yo,
hey, who is that? King
my
Thrash?
God, did you see that?
Oh no!
Nah, bro. Yo, when you squeeze those.
Shit.
Hey, I'm used to spreading lips, but this time I have to close them, so it's okay.
Oh my God! Look at that.
My man said when he squeezes the lips,
she's fresh up in there. Look at that. Huh?
Exactly.
Nice and pink.
Yeah. After 18 years of marriage, it's nice to see something nice and pink. All right.
You shouldn't go through the back door and then back through the front door.
Why do I get this feeling he's going to be on the show one of these nights and he's going to end up with a Fork Boy slap?
Yeah, right.
The wife's just going to go.
Not if I'm not paying $10 an hour for it. That's unfortunate. So.
Oh, that's the Sony upgrade PlayStation podcast. An extra
Exactly.
$10.
Yeah, let me ask you guys something. Which game would you like to be seen made into a movie?
Hmm.
Which game?
That's
What?
a good one.
Which game would you like to
Would
see
you like
made
to be
into a
seen
movie?
made into a movie?
Tetris.
Honestly, I'd love to see a
I'm just
Batman
joking.
movie based on Arkham Asylum.
Mm.
That'd be kind of
Smite!
That's it.
Fuck!
Oh,
Come on, man.
So-
Got all the characters.
so-
You gotta love how many. And I'm gonna tell you this much, man. The lore, they come out with lore every season. The lore is actually, it reads really good. Like it, and tell me in the chat, how many bad like mythology based movies have you seen? Clash of the Titans, that was awesome. Yeah, all those movies are cool as fuck.
cool.
And you could have
Immortals.
it's just gods versus gods, man. I know people are gonna fucking hate on me for it, but you guys will see sooner or later. God damn it!
well, I'm gonna save Percolator some $5 super chat by saying this. Shut up. So
Percolator. Yeah,
Tip
where
Top
is
Dalton
he today?
says Fable movie. We got Joe Dumber saying Bioshock. I Love Midget says The Suffering.
Oh, Bioshock would be good. Yeah, Bioshock.
Bioshock
Gears,
actually
Gears-
lends
Ice
itself
Man says
well. to
Gears
the
of
movie.
War, which I thought they were
Gears
making a
of
Gears of
War.
War, but I don't know where the fuck happened to that again. Rod Ferguson even said he went to the studio and was talking about the Gears of War before he left the studio. They were like in production or some shit, and it's like, what the fuck happened to it? Like, I keep hearing this all the time. Gears in production, but I don't know what kind of production it's in because man, it must be getting made by a Microsoft studio team.
That's right.
Announced it 10 years ago. Here it comes.
There's like
Maybe they
work
need to
on it
make-
when you get around to it.
Maybe they need to make Everwild into a movie so they have some fucking direction.
Right. Good idea. Fuck.
Let's see a
Fucking
scoring movie. Says Dreadpool.
waving
Half
wands
right.
with smoke. Like they have
Yeah.
no fucking clue what that game's gonna be. My God, it hurts me. And like all right, so the game world has been built. Oh, we made this amazing world. We just don't know what the fuck you're gonna do in it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Back
Sounds like the previous
asswards,
game.
man.
They need to
Another
ma-
back
they need-
assward
they-
studio.
They need to make an Elden Ring movie in VR with super vibrating seats. Every time you're fighting someone, you get the living shit shook out of you.
Russell,
Like, tell me, like the I don't know, like there's a million examples of this. Tell me, just like the God of War developer was like, well, we're gonna build the world and then figure out what you do in it. Like that's not.
Yeah.
Well, piggybacking off of this topic, how confident are you in Sony being able to deliver a competent Last of Us movie?
Let's
or a
see how the
TV
show
show.
does first, because the TV show.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So how do you think how good do you think that TV show is going to be?
Honestly, because it's a show, Wiseau Gamer, I have high hopes for it because they don't have to really like try to throw everything into a 2.5 hour time span or 2 hours. You know what I mean? So the thing that makes the game important is the fact that you get great character depth, right? You get to explore the characters, and I think it'll work better as a show than as a movie because at least here you'll get to maybe humanize with Joel and Ellie and their journey, as long as it doesn't basically turn into The Last of Us Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Like the
That's
Walking
what I
Dead
was
was
gonna
so
say.
good. Walking Dead was
Because
so
that's
good
what I
for
was
so many years,
saying.
and the last 4 or 5 seasons of fucking Walking Dead were atrocious. Just became the same
So-
shit over
That's
and
what
over
I was
again.
gonna say. How different would it be from The Walking Dead? All right, you'd have different characters, but pretty much everything else is the same.
Well, see, I think one of the
zombies are
problems
totally
with
different for one.
Well, I think one of the big problems of making these types of movies is, okay, so say, for example, they make this Last of Us TV show, right?
Right.
If it's based off of the first and second games and it's just a live action version of the first and second games, how successful will that be? People will complain, well, I've already played the game. I don't need to see this this TV show or this movie. Now, if they go down another avenue or another story path, then people will still complain and say that, oh, wait a minute, this is not my Last of Us, or this is not my Halo or whatever. So this is one of the biggest dilemmas in making these types of games, because when they make these games, they have these plots set up, the story set up for the game. You can't just do just a cut and paste from the game, because that would be boring for us people who play the game. And also, if you go diverge too far away from the main story, people get upset because they say it's not. So it's a fine line. So I think just video game adaptation movies that are based off of video games it's just a difficult process in and of itself. So yeah.
We got another super chat coming in from again Bushido N70 drops $5. The three of my favorite gamers together tonight. Now guess which ones? Just kidding. Nice. All right.
So new Titan
three.
Drago and my mom.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. All right.
But either which way, it's nice to see though that games have certainly transcended to the point where the industry's kind of flipped. Where it used to be, movies and shows turned into games, and now games are becoming the hot property. And there's many cases, I think games now, because they've certainly hit that, where they're far more realistic now. They tell better stories than they did, 20 years ago because of the technology, the advancement in, voice acting, motion capture. If you even look at this Guardians of the Galaxy game, right, which a lot of people are playing now in Game Pass, by the way, like that in itself could have been almost a great movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's done so well. It's great. It's great to see, like I said, the games are really transcending, so to speak. And this helps, highlight the industry and some of its spotlights, and hopefully, it turns into being a good thing in the long haul. And again, more eyes on the industry to bring it, to the make it feel more mainstream, because it's still, gaming still gets a lot of flack and still gets a lot of shit overall. Like, still treated as this nerd hobby and this cult thing or kid's toy, and and it's still taking a long time to step out of that shadow, and be considered legitimate. So I think the more shows that mimic the games that they come from, it's only a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's flip this on. I got a question for everybody. What is the worst video game movie that you've seen?
Anything that Uwe Boll has done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him notwithstanding, because he's
of
more like a B movie actor, right? I mean, B movie director or something like that, right? But
yeah,
I would say Warcraft for me. Warcraft was utterly trash. Did y'all? I mean, I know most people did not see it, but I was looking forward to Warcraft because there's so much mythology. Yeah, it is. Don't you will never get those 2 hours of your life back again. Trust me.
The Super Mario Brothers movie was pretty damn bad.
Yeah,
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
Super Mario movie.
Yeah,
Super Mario movie.
Well, they're making another one, so they got another shot at it.
And the Street Fighter and Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Did you guys see there was a post on Twitter about the new games coming to Game Pass, and there was like a handful of them. I read that the thread or whatever, and I couldn't believe the amount of hate I was seeing on this thread. People are saying these are bum games, this and that, and Crusader Kings 3 is coming to the Xbox Series X. Mm-hmm. I was about to buy that game. Game Pass saving me more money because I got it on Game Pass on PC, but I don't care for playing on PC, especially a game like that, because my arm gets all fucking, I don't know, just feels wonky just in this weird position. So I really wanted to play it on, and like people are like hating on it like crazy, man. It's like, dude, that you're just being fucking ignorant. Right. That's one thing I can't stand on Twitter is the fucking shit people talk.
You'll think your arm will get used to being in awkward positions already.
Say that again.
I say you would think your arm would be used to being in wonky positions already.
No, man, but
he's married. He doesn't need to use his hand anymore.
Most of those games is top quality. You could just check the ratings.
Yeah, like Crusader Kings 3 is like really highly touted and rated, and I didn't think it was even going to come to Xbox until like
what is that game about? What is that game about? I've never heard.
So it's about like you run a dynasty of like your family, and it's like played over generations. So like you start your character, you make all these decisions. You can either, conquer territories and, you marriage off your kids and this and that. So you could have a lot of fun with this one. I don't even want to see what the fuck you come up with in this game, Wize. It'll be, my God. But there's all kinds, like, oh my God, just the different decisions that they throw at you is insane. Like they literally it'll like, so you're leader of this empire. It'll throw like a scenario at you where you're at a bar and you got this hooker coming up at you, and then all of a sudden you smash her, and then you got an illegitimate kid with her, and it's insane. And then when you die, you take over as like one of your siblings until you're out of them. Yeah. So it's pretty much smash as much as you can and get as much bloodline as you can out there and go from there. It's really fucking
so
cool.
Basically like my real life, basically. That's what you're saying, right? Or my Saturday night, basically. Yeah. Okay.
It's your life less ruling lands.
I'm excited for that Shredders game or whatever, that snowboard game, dude. I can't wait to play that.
Those are like good for like 10 hours. And then it's like next.
My ass is still fucking stuck playing Elden Ring and Forbidden West. I mean, I'm still playing. I'm going through Forbidden West because it's supposed to be shorter than Elden Ring, and I'm nowhere near finished with Forbidden West. And Elden Ring, I mean, I'm talking to people. Some of my students are playing that game, and they're like, "Well, we got 150 hours," and I'm like, "Well, shit, I'm not gonna be able to do that right now." So
I don't know how many hours I am, but I'm nowhere close to even being finished with that game. Like, holy mackerel! Fucking.
And then And then we got like what Tiny Tina's Wonderland thing coming out from Borderlands. That looks pretty tight. I think that looks pretty good.
I'm down for that. It's co-op, baby.
Yeah. So
I feel bad.
And of course. Go ahead.
The mag was like, "Yeah, we got to do some co-op, man." And I'm like, all right, when you get on, send me an invite. And I know he gets on, and I know he sees me on Smite, but he doesn't send the fucking invite. And now he's probably way fucking out leveled on me. I feel bad though because I should be playing Elden Ring and I put it to the side.
I can hear Titan. Titan, I can hear Mag now. Well, Titan, where are you? I've been online many times. I didn't see you. What's going on?
No, he wouldn't come out like that. He would come out attacking me, and you know that.
Yeah,
he'd be relentless.
Shout out to the Mag, brother. We miss you, man. Podcast still hasn't been quite the same since you left, but we're happy for you, man. Hope things all is well with you, my friend. Dreadpool is in the chat. What's going on, brother? Good friend Chase Jones is hanging out with us as well. Good to see you, Chase. Hope all is good, man. Everybody's fucking playing Elden Ring. I can't believe how many people are like. Every time I boot up my Xbox, I think I got about 14 or 15 friends that are playing that game. That's just insane.
Even Peter's into it. You saw the post they made about the animals in Elden Ring?
Oh, yes, the PETA thing. I think Lucas shared that out. Wow.
I missed that.
That's how big this game has gotten. It went from niche Souls type games to PETA tweeting about it. I'm like, that's amazing.
You've been playing it, Jay?
Right now, I started playing it, but I stopped like a week ago. I started playing F1 again.
Gotcha, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward. I was about to buy F1 2021 last night, matter of fact, because I saw it on special. I think it was $18. I was like, damn, this is kind of weird, man. It's $18 right now? I'm like, this shit is about to come to Game Pass. Next day, today. They just announced it for Game Pass.
F1 2022 is on Game Pass or coming to Game Pass, though?
Yeah, 2021, not 2022. Yeah.
Oh, okay, 2021. Gotcha. Damn.
Yeah, so I was like, damn. So I booted up 2020, and I started making my team on that, so I could because they have this whole new system where you build your team, and 2021 has Ayrton Senna, Schumacher. So I'm about to go crazy with that when it finally drops.
Nice. By the way, rest in peace to Scott Hall, man. That was really sad news.
Yeah, it's crazy. I saw Hulk Hogan gave some speech at what looked like a dive bar or something, but yeah. That's crazy, man. I guess he got the razor's edge for the last time.
Jeez, I heard he went to the hospital, had like 3 he was for the hip surgery or something, and it had like 3 heart attacks, he said.
Yeah, 3 heart attacks, man. He's been through a lot, man.
Yeah, that's a documentary thing on him.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, they were talking about how that whole industry has problems with that. Like most people either have strokes or heart attacks because of what they have to do to keep their body in shape all the time. So Scott Hall passing away, although sad, is not, I'm not going to say unexpected. It is still unexpected, but it still is like, yeah, it's bad that he passed away, but you can see why, because that industry is just totally jacked up. I was watching a documentary about like what all these wrestlers have to do on their night-to-night basis, and for a sport that's considered fake, that seems like a whole hell of a lot of punishment to go put your body through. That's all I gotta say. So yeah. So rest in peace, Scott Hall.
Yeah.
I
had
have
to put that out
two.
there because he was very iconic. He came from the era when the WWE was at its height, and everybody remembers Razor Ramon, man. One more for the bad guy, and the toothpick. And I remember the promos he was cutting before he came to WWE. Like when he was coming to WWE, they were cutting promos for him before his big build up, so it was pretty cool.
He was a cool fucking character. The Razor's Edge, man, that was one cool ass move. I remember doing the Razor's Edge when I was little, man, like 12 years old or whatever. Trying to put one of your friends in the Razor's Edge. You guys ever do that?
I was gonna say your dog has never been the same since, eh? Woo! Sorry, Bruno.
Oh man, me and my friends, we would wrestle like hard fucking core, man. Like I could have. I definitely.
Listen, you
it was
remember
a stretching
Mankind?
routine. Who?
You remember Mankind? Where he had this crazy sock.
Nick Foley. Yeah, Nick Foley. Yeah.
They call him Socko, right?
Yeah.
I remember there was. I remember we was wrestling back in elementary when I was watching it, and I brought this dirty gym sock out. And I was about to playground. I saw a pile of dog shit.
Oh.
Pile of dog shit. Creeped up around my friend and just whoop, right into his mouth. Socko.
Oh my god!
When I tell you, he was pissed.
Yeah, when I was young, we used to play wrestle stuff, and we used to put each other in the position to do a pile driver. And I found out it would be more enjoyable by putting my girlfriend in the position of a pile driver than a man. So I started doing that.
I was
going to practice some wrestling moves.
Wize Gamer probably used the Socko with the sock that he jerked off in, probably. Sock is crusty as fuck.
Crusty as fuck.
The old
You can brush your teeth with it.
Oh man. Damn.
Russia.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. Just.
Now wrestling was the shit for real though in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Hell yeah, that was definitely the prime time for all that, man. You had all the cool ass characters with all the cool ass names and like Mr. Perfect and fucking.
Well.
Like everyone had some type of story behind them, or like now it's like you got Adam Jones. It's just no creativity once again.
When the WWE is getting rid of guys like Braun Strowman, they're fucking going downhill.
Well, remember back in the day when WWE was WWF, and you had this AAA wrestler like Razor Ramon fighting a guy named Billy English. You knew who was going to win, right? Razor Ramon had to win, right? Now I watched WWE just a couple of weeks ago. All of those people are just Billy English, and they're like, "What the hell? Who's going to win?" There's no fun in it anymore. So yeah, back then, maybe it's just nostalgia.
That was the difference between wrestling back in the day. Is they used to have the build up to the big events too. Like that's the thing. You didn't see like Hulk Hogan fight like Andre the Giant 5 times before like the main event came. Like they would talk it up, and you would literally on the edge of your seat until the event happened. And now they got like SmackDown and Raw, and like John Cena would fight like freaking like guys like the same dude like 4 times leading up to an event. There was no build up anymore. Do you know what I'm saying?
And like casket matches. Do you remember casket matches with The Undertaker and fucking like I remember The Undertaker dying and then fucking coming back, and when they finally opened up the urn, that was fucking historic, man.
Crazy.
When the Undertaker Oh yeah. or the Road Warriors,
The Road
or
Warriors,
Hacksaw Jim
Legion-
Duncan.
Right, the
Hacksaw
Legion.
Jim Duncan.
What's it called? The Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh man.
Man, when
Bushwhack,
when I
fucking Dink and Doink. I could name them all, man.
Yeah, but I was a huge
No.
ECW fan, man. I like Rob Van Dam and Sabu.
Well,
and
that was just it, right? That was just it, because back in those days there was lots of competition. It was making each other try harder to fight. Now, like when WWE sort of had the monopoly, when they put everybody else out, like I said, you can see the writing on the wall. You get a monopoly, you go to shit. Nobody's pushing the envelope. Nobody's, your superstars kind of feel they're safe. I think it's starting now that the AEW is starting to pick up steam, that the WWE seems like they're starting to push it a little bit, or trying to.
I think the biggest threat right now for the WWE would not even be AEW. I think it would be MMA, because MMA is what our WWE used to be. And I think that's what has taken the helm right now. And I think that's what's going to give WWE the run for their money, because MMA has what WWE used to. They have good stories, and it's actually a pretty bloody sport. And it's a lot more interesting to watch than the WWE these days. So,
Yeah, but
first of all, they changed.
That's a real sport, though. That's not fucking storyline shit. That's real shit.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
We got
first they
your top
changed the
3
name.
wrestlers in the chat, real quick. Go ahead, Wize.
Well, first they had to change the damn name from WWF to WWE. I know why they did it. I mean, I'm well aware about the World Wildlife Federation, blah, 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 and that whole lawsuit and everything. But yeah, I mean, I just, to me, my top 3 of all time would always be number 1, Roddy Piper. And number 2, Ricky Steamboat. And number 3, that's going to be, I would have to say The Rock. I loved his music. When his intro music, it was just phenomenal. And the way he carried the ring. Now, his finishing move was the People's Elbow. That sort of
But it had a
sucked.
cool name, like the People's Everything.
No, he used the rock bottom. People's elbow was a setup move.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But even the rock bottom, it didn't do it.
No,
Like,
it was just
it
a
didn't have the
one-handed
same
body slam.
Now, like back in the day, DDT, like with Jake the Snake Roberts and the DDT, they try to ban that freaking move. Nobody wants to ban rock bottom. Nobody even gets hurt with the rock bottom. They just probably say, okay, if he does this, don't move. I mean, that's what it was. But I liked his panache. I liked his total presence. And that's why I will always be a Rock fan, even though he makes all these crazy, crappy movies. And I'll still, to this day, go see him. So.
Yeah, the pile driver changed a lot, because remember that after the Stone Cold thing, they had to start bracing people with their knees. Before they wouldn't brace them with their knees, their head would bounce off the mat. Like, fuck, man. So many guys got screwed up. The Undertaker was one of the few guys that could do it properly. Probably because he was strong enough to fucking hold most guys, but some guys had just totally botched that move.
Nice. Bushido, Randy Macho Man Savage. Yeah. I can't believe no one else has the fucking Ultimate Warrior yet, man. He was the beast.
Yeah, he was.
Motherfucker never lost unless they cheated on him. It was constantly people coming into the ring like just to fuck with that dude, man. Like managers, other fighters, fucking the GM, you name it.
Listen, man, but my favorite all time was Bret Hart, man.
Yeah, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Bret, yeah.
He was cool. Sharpshooter, fucking cool as hell, man. I can't tell you how many people I put in the sharpshooter.
Princess Zelda, did he put you in the sharpshooter? She's like, no.
When Goldberg
not by a long shot.
I put her in the Boston Crab.
Oh, as long as you don't have Boston crabs.
And when Goldberg first came to the scene, he was spearing everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Boy. Yeah, he went. I remember that, man. He went nuts.
Yeah, he went like
he speared
50 and 0 or something. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, he broke the streak, and there was that one thing where he like what he spear like 20 people at least in a row.
Yeah. And he was like, "Who's next?"
You guys remember that? What's that guy's name? Brutus the Barber Beefcake,
yeah,
and if
yeah.
you would lose that, he would shave your hair off or something like that.
Mhm.
That was freaking epic. I would love that. Yeah, but he doesn't
Who
have
was
to
the
worry about that
wrestler?
with me because I have no hair. But that's cool.
Who was the I think was it Brock Lesnar that picked up the fucking Big Show that time and like basically did the fucking power slam on him or whatever. That was impressive as
Yeah.
fuck. I think it was, and it even did like I think he did the flying headbutt off the top rope and basically almost knocked himself out when he hit the fucking floor. Like they were actually saying like yeah, almost like I had a concussion or something after that. You look at him, he's like dazed.
Yeah, didn't Goldberg pick up the Big Show and like the whole ring collapsed or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was probably those guys too. One of their events. Yeah,
Wow.
not many people have picked up the Big Show, not fully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My
Yeah.
hallmark match was Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. Hulk body slammed Andre. That was impressive. When I was a little kid and I saw that, I'm like, how in the hell did he even lift that thing? You know, and it's an epic. It was an
First
epic.
guy to
it
ever
was an
body
epic
slam
match.
Andre, wasn't it? I think that was that went.
I think he was the only guy who ever body slammed him, right?
Yeah,
I don't think
them
anyone
and
else body slammed Andre.
Yokozuna too. He body slammed.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, what about Rikishi? He was about that ass before anyone else was about that ass. You know.
Backing it up into the post, yeah.
Gold
Exactly.
dust.
Gold dust.
Oh
man.
man.
Man, I can't believe it. Like 30 minutes almost on a wrestling conversation. It's crazy. That's how shit gets off the rails, but it's fun though, man. It just, like I said, I don't even watch wrestling anymore. I kind of gave up on it. Just lost.
Yeah, I used to hate Triple H when he was that
Hunter
that
Hearst
Hunter
Helmsley.
Helmsley. Oh, I was like,
Mhm.
Yeah, it was so stupid. But then
And that song,
big change.
oh, that song, I hated that. I was like, get this guy out of here, man.
No, one of the
But
best
you know,
matches
he
ever,
played-
man. Undertaker and Mankind when he fucking slammed him down to that steel cage. And remember that one?
Oh yeah, that was a
Everybody thought he
brutal
was
match.
dead. Everybody thought he was dead, man. That's a long drop.
Oh, man.
It was on the top. That was the cage match, wasn't
Yeah.
it? Where he,
Cage.
oh my, yeah, I remember that. That was
Did
awesome.
the power slam or whatever, and he went the whole
Thumbtacks
cage slap
and all
down
that.
through. That was crazy. And then all the thumbtacks and everything else he used to do, all those matches, and the people would slam him on the big bag of tacks. I'm sorry, that has to hurt. I don't care how you look at it.
For real.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't care what you are. When you get slammed by a folded chair, that's going to hurt. I don't care what you say. I mean, you can say it's fake or whatever, but that just looks painful. I mean, the tacks also, but I mean, yeah, I know they say it's fake, but some of that stuff, just even if it is fake, looks painful.
Well, no, to a good professional wrestler can do a move that looks like it hurts and it shouldn't hurt at all. A bad wrestler will fucking do a move to you and it will hurt. You'll get injured doing it. Like, do you ever see some of those back stories or the backstage stories where
right.
They share all their injuries they've gotten and what people did wrong and whatnot, and like there's a whole backstory in the back scenes too. Like besides the story that they feed the fans.
Yeah,
behind the scenes, like wrestlers had beef with each other because some of them didn't pull off their moves good and whatnot, and they actually injured people.
You ever see all the scars on Dusty Rhodes' forehead? Those were real. Yes. Sir X-Man, he dropped a $2 super chat, which I forgot about earlier when we were talking about the best games to movies and vice versa. He said best game from a movie was Chronicles of Riddick. Facts. Yes, Chronicles of Riddick was an amazing game, loosely based off of a character, but obviously its own story. But that was really cool, indeed.
Well, speaking of wrestling, I've heard mixed results, but I think that new WWE 2022 or whatever it is,
It's getting pretty good.
I'm hearing more positive than negative, and that's really good considering the game that came out the last year, which was just a train fucking wreck.
Yeah.
It's good that they
simplified the gameplay a little bit. They've made the counter reversals system a little bit easier. Same with the pinfall. It's no longer that stupid little mini game where the little ball rolls back and forth. Now it's more like the old school where you tap the button to get the fuck out. Hopefully you got enough stamina. That sort of thing. So that sounds promising. And the animation looks a lot better. The graphics are certainly improved as well. So that's pretty cool.
I heard there was a lot. I've seen a lot of most of the 1-star reviews. I read all the reviews. Most of the 1-star reviews were like because the game crashing, but I think that's on older gen consoles.
Mm-hmm.
Every review I've read that says, they didn't crash. They were definitely playing on a Xbox Series S or X.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. Let me know if you got that game in the chat.
Well, forgive my bias. I still think the best wrestling game ever made was Pro Wrestling on the NES with Starman and King Corn Karn and Great Puma. I don't know if you guys remember any of those guys, but that was an excellent game. Yeah, you're young and you can, but
just like I just don't remember it being very good. I'm sorry.
Well, rose-colored glasses and all,
There were a couple of good ones on Nintendo.
Did you play the old school WrestleMania arcade?
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
WWE WrestleFest. Nintendo. NWO versus what was it? WCW versus NWO when those games first came out for the N64, and then
there was like 5 of them that were fantastic.
Yeah. Amazing.
That was the prime, man. That was the golden years. That was when you had all the cool characters there. And you know what? Those games made sure that they filled out their roster, too. They would have like 60 guys on the roster, even on that old-ass fucking console, man. Got to have at least 60 in your roster.
My guy was Billy Kidman in the Shooting Star Press that he used to
do. Well, I mean, as I gotten older, I'm not interested anymore watching scantily clad men wrestle each other. I'd rather watch scantily clad women wrestle each other on RedTube. So that's just me. But yeah,
well, they used to have pretty scantily clad women in the WWE for a long time, and then fucking that went out the fucking window. Now you got a bunch of weird ass fucking girls up in there now. I don't even know what the fuck they are anymore. It's like, Jesus.
Are they a pronoun?
Remember the days of Trish Stratus and Stacy Keibler and all of them, and
Stacy,
Wilson and
Stacy had thighs for days. I'm sorry to say that, but yeah.
The only one I like now is what's her name, Sasha Banks. Oh, Sasha Banks.
You remember E3 back in the early days with the booth babes and all that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Speaking of Stacy Keibler, I'll be back in 1 second. And I'm back. Thank you.
He should have come back with the pony house.
Yeah, that pony looked crazy. What happened to it? Look ravaged.
Well, it was here. Well, now I can't show it because of what's on it, but that's
right.
Story.
Is one of your next videos going to contain that? That's what I want to know.
If this stuff that it's on it washes off, yeah, I guess so it can. Oh, now the lips are stuck. Oh well. Yeah.
Last topic of the evening. Let's get it. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
Last topic to talk about on Thursday. On Thursday, another State of Play coming up back to back in a couple weeks now. We saw Gran Turismo 7 on the last one, and this one is going to highlight Hogwarts Academy. Is that correct? Is that the one?
Mm-hmm.
Any Harry Potter fans here? Anybody excited for this game? Obviously, we're going to see it shown off more or less in full on PlayStation, but we do know it's a multi-plat. So sorry to those people in the Twitterverse who somehow thought this was a Sony exclusive and got really excited about it. But yes, it is a multi-plat. I'm excited to see it. I know if Mag was here, he'd probably be off his rocker talking about this because he's been like, "Oh, I can't wait to get a Hogwarts game, man!" We know he's a big old Harry Potter dude. So let's start with you, Titan. How about you, man? You excited for it? Gonna check out the State of Play? What's going
on? Will I check out the State of Play? Probably not. I'll get into that reasons later. But as far as the game goes, yeah, they got a lot of potential here. With and even with like VR, like this is a game I thought that like for PS2 VR would be, next level or whatever, like casting spells and whatnot.
Are we watching the Ghost of Wize little gamer up there? What the hell is going
on? I'm the ghost of future past. So
the ghost of gaming past.
That's exactly.
There's that much smoke. It looked like you disappeared for a second there.
Well, after you did what I did, you need a smoke. So, wow.
Sorry, go ahead, Titan. Didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, but every time every time I think a state of play is going to be even decent, they fucking let me down. Like, oh, I'm like, like people love to overhype fucking state of plays on Twitter. That's for sure as fuck. There was one tweet I remember seeing. He's like, yeah, people are expecting, God of War, the PS5 Pro, and all this stuff in a 20-minute show. Yeah, all that in a 20-minute show.
Whoa. The reason people are really excited about this state of play is not because of Hogwarts. Well, unless they have a naked Hermione in it, that's a different story. But there's something else that was in that tweet that they were talking about. They have something at the very end that they're working on, and they're excited to show it to us. I mean, that's what I know. He's a PlayStation fanboy, but who's that guy who does 60 frames no lag? What's that guy's name? I keep forgetting his name. Puerto Rock. He was talking about that the end of the tweet means something. I know.
Fucking you just shut up right now. I'm going to shut you up. I'm stopping you.
Don't fucking shoot me.
You cannot continue.
He should not be named.
Seriously, no. Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
And he was talking about, and I was looking at that end of that tweet, and I do remember saying, okay, yeah, I can see why people could look at these lines and say maybe they got something more than Hogwarts on it. So do you remember reading something like that at the very end of that tweet where they announced the state of play for Thursday?
Do you have any clue how long I've had Puerto Rock blocked?
Look, I don't block anybody. I take it's come one, come all the time. That's what I believe. But yeah, but yeah, I mean,
I can't handle the stupidity. Can't do it.
I mean, yeah, normally I do not listen to a word this man says, but then I looked at what he was quoting and I said, okay, I can see where he may have a little bit of ground. Let me pull up the tweet. Hold on. Y'all keep going. I'm going to pull up the tweet.
All right. So while you pull that up,
Titan's gonna vomit.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't believe we just said that motherfucker's name on the show. No, but it's like
I'm sorry.
Also, it was a big thing. How many people thought this was gonna be a PlayStation exclusive? I remember that was a huge topic for a while and a huge, misconception. And that's what a lot of these are, man. And I think it's most of the time, like we've seen it in the past. I don't have the data on this one to prove it that PlayStation came up with this rumor, but usually it is PlayStation. Usually they say PlayStation has gone, put PlayStation exclusive on the PS4 box, of the system when you buy this new system. That I remember Red Dead 2. They said Red Dead 2 was PlayStation exclusive, and they put that on their box. They straight up lie every chance that they get. I can't, and that's what pisses me off. How do they not get called out for this shit? How do they not get sued? If I was Xbox, I would sue them for that stuff. That's blatant. Fucking false advertising, man.
Yeah.
And that makes that, and the reason why I do it is because it makes the Xbox brand look bad. And look at Xbox, like every opportunity they've had to be cool with PlayStation, they've taken it. Hey, PlayStation, you're way the fuck behind. Do you need some fucking cloud servers because Gaikai ain't shit? Here you go. Do you need fucking like how many other fucking examples are there? Oh, do you want Call of Duty on your system? Because we're fucking buying them. Here you go. It's like
You're too nice.
They're really being too nice. Simply put. They need to fucking man up and start slapping PlayStation around. I hope to God, as soon as this fucking deal goes through, I hope they don't have to say, I hope they don't have to sign an agreement saying that, Call of Duty, because, and you know what? And it's not even, what pisses me off? It's just all these fucking clowns like fucking Puerto Rock, Wize. These motherfuckers, they're the reason I hate a lot of these fucking PlayStation extremists, man. They're the reason why I hate that brand so much.
Okay, now to go against
with the line. Go ahead.
Well, I don't have the line. I mean, I'm still looking for the line. I'm looking
No, I'm
for it.
saying
It's
the
somewhere here.
PlayStation's lying. They lie constantly about various
By the way,
aspects of their
Titan,
business
I
strategy.
think you've got your new segment. I think you just did it. What pisses me off? You need to do that every week. What pisses you off?
It really does, man. Like these I try to piece together all the time. Why do I fucking hate PlayStation so much? Because you know what? I had a PlayStation 2. I had a PSP. I fucking loved the PSP on the submarine. That shit fucking saved me from going insane. You know what I mean? Somewhere along the line, they just dropped off for me. And these fanboys aren't helping.
Well, I agree with the whole fanboy sentiments because there is a lot of fanboys here who are taking, oh my God, Hogwarts Legacy is coming on the State of Play to, oh my God, PlayStation or Sony is going to be buying WB games. Now, I don't support that type of BS, but here's the tweet. It says, join us Thursday for Hogwarts Legacy State of Play on Twitch or YouTube at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Don't forget to head back here to PlayStation blog afterwards for a special post that will add a little more context to what we're about to show you. This is an incredible moment that we've been building towards for a long time. We can't wait to show you what we've been working on. Now, that can be construed in two different ways. I'm not saying his analysis of this line is correct. I'm just saying this is what they're feeding off of, this little blurb, if you will. Now, is it going to be just more gameplay of Hogwarts? Most likely, but it does keep the door open for maybe them dropping a bombshell, dropping a surprise or one more thing, you know? So that's all I'm saying on that one.
So J-Rock, what do you think? Like, because all right, these state of plays, they don't drop bombshells on these state of plays. Yeah. They show a little bit of gameplay, and then
I mean, if it was gonna be something major, they wouldn't put it on a blog post. Is my belief. Like, right. If it's something big is earth shattering, why would he put it on a blog post? How many people actually go and check those things out versus you putting it on YouTube or something like that?
No, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not trying to track back. I'm just saying that this is why all these PlayStation fanboys are in a tizzy. They all know that Hogwarts Legacy is multi-platform. At least I think they do. Those who do not say that WB Games is being bought by Sony, but yeah, I think that that's what they're holding on to. Well, let's put it this way. Let's call a spade here. Let me go ahead and play devil's advocate. At least they're still even though it's not technically only their game, at least they're showing something.
At least
going back to what we talked about earlier, at least they're showing something, you know? Whereas you have the other camp who's quiet as anything. I mean, right now you've had Nintendo drop their wad. You've had PlayStation drop their wad twice. And Xbox, they're just holding it. I don't know. Are they impotent?
Well, Xbox has got a lot of work to do legality-wise and trying to acquire,
Nintendo's wad is like rabbit shit. Little buttons.
All right, and I still want to know what's going to go on with that that Ubisoft service that's coming over. Was it Uplay? I want to know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They kind of dropped that. That kind of fell off into the abyss, right?
Yeah, because there were a lot of murmurings. We haven't had any more information on that.
Yeah, that kind of fell off.
They said they're bringing the service over, and we'll have more news on that later, but we haven't gotten anything.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. We, as Xbox fans, we're also starving here. We're looking for some new news. I mean, like, I think there's some Xbox centric podcasts strictly that were going off of a data mine of some sort of new hardware device that Xbox might be coming out with in the next 1 or 2 years. That's that's the only news that they got going. So at least one thing you could say about PlayStation is at least they're showing something. I mean, and that's what I think Xbox can learn from that. They should say, okay, well, yeah, this is a multi-plat. Let's go ahead and show it, because for the casual person, they will think that if you have the rights for the game, that it is your game. It is an exclusive. So
we all know those inside Xboxes are usually complete fucking snore fests.
Well, those are the two that kind of compare with each other, the state of plays and right. Exactly. They kind of compare. If you're going to gauge the two, which one is better, I would say the Xbox one is better, hands down.
Yeah, state of
I
play
know-
has basically become a live service commercial for a game before it releases. That's really all they are now. It's just games coming out. Oh, we better do a state of play to kind of give people a heads up on the game. They can kind of see it a little bit, and then the game comes out.
And when people realize that's just what it is, we can knock out a lot of all this fucking, and I want to say it's just people trying to get attention to themselves. It's fucking pathetic attention seekers. They come up, narrative creators, whatever you want to call them.
It's good for clickbait. It's good to get traction and traffic onto your channel.
And that's what pisses me off another way. Why are fucking people attracted to that, to fucking idiocy? Right? What? All right, fool me. What the fuck happened to the saying, fool me once, all right, fool me twice. You know what I mean? Because these motherfuckers are on their fucking, they fooled you 80 fucking times now, man. Now you just look stupid as fuck for following them. Wize! Fucking
you remember the whole
wait a minute. Don't.
You remember the whole abandoned thing? Remember the whole abandoned Silent Hill connection? Oh, Kojima's coming.
Oh my god, that was
abandoned.
I'm never gonna live this down, am I?
No, man, not for a while.
No. I knew I should have brought that man's name up. I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I'm just saying, okay, this is the only reason these guys are salivating at the mouth because of this one little blurb, Now,
all right, you get a loophole for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I heard it was like you create a character and doing your journey in Hogwarts and learning spells, so it could be interesting. I want to see some gameplay.
Yeah, the game is intriguing. I don't know a GD thing about Hogwarts or Harry Potter or something. I mean, the last time somebody said Harry Potter, I was just thinking about this old man named Potter who's really hairy. That's all I knew about Harry Potter. Right. So, I mean, yeah, the premise sounds good. Now, can they deliver it? Let's see. But if it is what people are telling me that it is going to be, then it will be a pretty good game. So, yeah.
Like the Kinect or something would have been cool with this, because the Kinect would have recognized sound, voice activation or whatever, and you're like Expelliarmus or something like that, and it would recognize that shit. Like, and even the wand flick or something. Like, I can't believe they didn't come out with this when the Kinect was out or something like that, or for VR.
VR2, this would be a good VR2 game.
This is exactly for VR or something Kinect wise. I don't.
I'm sure Sony will have something where you blow into the controller for a spell.
It's fucking stupid as fuck.
Don't give him any fucking ideas.
I just want my controller to vibrate when Hermione shows up. That's all I want. And I'm good.
Oh my god.
That'll be the fourth controller I go
to. Erecto Patronus.
Erecto.
Grow us and enlarge us.
Oh shit. I mean, me, like I said, I am excited for the game, not as much as most people. I'm not even this. I mean, I like the Harry Potter movies, but I'm not this huge fan. But I do want the game to show off well, obviously on Thursday, and I'll definitely give it a try. Probably we'll have to see. I need to see more about it and see if it's going to be my kind of game. I've been burned with a few games recently that I thought I would like a lot more than I did. One being Star Wars: The Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order, which did not like near as much as I thought I would. Gave up on it. I wasn't digging it. Me personally, I prefer like the Force Unleashed games over that one. But that's just me. I know other people may have a various of opinions, and that's fine. But that's just me. So.
Are you sure Mag is excited about Harry Potter, or is he just excited for Harry Pot?
Could be a bit of both. Maybe it's Harry Twatter. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He's just excited for something being hairy besides him. So that's
well, he hasn't gotten none. He's got that bald head. He's like his cat. So yeah. But anyway, like I said, it's always good. Like I said, more highlights on gaming and stuff. It's great. You can't go wrong with that. You don't watch. I'm sure you'll check out the trailers wherever you might find them. And like I said, we just hope for another good game. And I know some people don't. Some people are calling to boycott the game because of the whole, stuff with J.K. Rowling and everything from a while back. So, because I guess she'll certainly get royalties or some sort of profit from this game, I'm sure. So, but it is what it is.
As she should. Like,
But it
I
does
can't-
go. But it does
I
highlight.
can't even remember what she got in hot water for. She said something stupid. I don't know.
Well, check this out. This does highlight something kind of important, though, right? If what they're showing on the state of play last time and this time are a bunch of multi-plat games, then what does that mean about their stable? Are they just holding back, or do they really not have anything for this year?
Mm.
Yeah, but we could say.
I mean, that just
inside
seems
Xbox-
atypical of Sony.
inside
yeah, we've already
Xbox, a lot of
established
times
that.
they're multi-plat games.
I mean,
so
All right. We haven't even gotten a release date for God of War yet. It was supposed to release last year.
supposed to release last year, got delayed to supposedly this year. Haven't heard anything about it.
Oh, come on now. There is no fucking way that game was
But-
going to come out last year. There was no
Well, yeah.
freaking way.
Mhm.
Sorry.
But the thing is like we saw the new gameplay, and it's using obviously the same assets. We've had that discussion, right, Noof? And
yeah.
some people like that, some people hate that when you bring it up, like how he jumps in the boat the same way. Fucking sorry,
Copy and
man. It
paste.
is what it is. Whether you like it or not, they're still using it's the same fucking
Well,
thing. They're cutting
look.
corners, and
I can tell you, have someone who's beaten and loved Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Forbidden West doesn't feel that far removed from that game. They didn't even change up the the weapon wheel that they have. There's a lot of that game that just feels vague. It's so familiar. Yeah, it's better in a lot of ways, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they went out and reinvented the wheel here. The game
and
plays
that's a
and
good
virtually
thing.
looks
Though.
the same thing. Which, yeah, if you really love the first one, I have no complaints with it. I'm just saying, like, obviously the reason they turned this game around relatively fast is because, again, they're using a lot of the very same assets.
Exactly, and that's all we're saying. We're not knocking on the development team. I think that's what a lot of people take, offense to that stuff. I'm all about. I don't care that they reuse assets. Assets are reused all the time. But it's usually in response to what someone on Twitter says. It's usually in response to a fucking moron. And they'll say whatever stupid thing they have to say, and then you have to kind of explain it to them like they're a little child. Well, this is the reason why first of all, you got to explain the reason why it's not coming out last fucking year, because they swore up and down that it was coming out last year. And when you tell them no, they take offense to that, and you tell them why, and then they take offense to that. Well, these are just facts, man, and we're not even downplaying the game in any way, shape, or form. It is what it is, Like, they're not going to come out with an entirely new God of War for an entirely new generation of console 2 years after the last one came out. You know what I mean? It's kind of should be common sense, but it's not.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, gas prices are high. I reuse asses all the time, so.
Yes, definitely been reusing that vape pipe. That's for sure.
No, I knew, like you were saying, that Horizon Zero Dawn, they didn't reinvent the wheel. That's a good thing, especially if if the first one did it so well, why would they change it around, right?
No, you're true. Like, there was nothing wrong with a lot of it in the first one, and the few complaints they had were largely addressed in the game, and a lot of it was animations, story side quests that just felt very just dull, whereas this one had a lot more purpose, more focused. Better machines. Like I said, I could go on and on and on, but this isn't the Horizon Forbidden West podcast. But I love the game; it's amazing, and I still got a long way to go. So yeah.
I feel like since I talk so much shit about PlayStation, we should say some positive things about them here and there. We should sprinkle it. You know what I mean? We shouldn't go as far to say the words Porter Rock or anything, but at least.
PlayStation's color is the same is my favorite color of my pill, so it's my favorite blue color pill. So, so whenever I see a PlayStation, I remember taking my pill. So,
All right. So what does that pill do for you, Wize? You could tell us. It's okay.
Not
It's
as
Gaming
much-
After Dark.
Not as much as not as much as it used to, but hey, at least the promise is there. One day I'm going to be able to use it on somebody. Not
At
my
least
left
you can
hand.
use it on the pony, man. I thought I was.
Yeah, that's why the
Use
mouth
it on-
is stuck together already.
The mouth, the controllers, this green screen that's about to turn white. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't get stick drift anymore. That's for sure. The sticks
I don't
don't
get
fucking
drift of
move
any
at all.
kind.
They don't drift. They're just stuck.
Hey. So.
I heard
But,
you're the
you know,
only
I think-
the only kid that ever went to a hospital and had to get removed an Atari controller from his ass.
Oh, no. Wide side
Well,
first.
you know what they call it. You know what they call a cheap circumcision, right? A ripoff. Well, I think like with Horizon Forbidden West, I think it was a proof of concept. I can understand why they reused their assets quite a bit because I think when Guerrilla went from Killzone, which was in their wheelhouse, to an entirely different genre, Sony was supportive, but at the same time, they're like, yeah, I don't know if you can do this. And they probably had a bigger scope in mind in the original game, which I guess because of budget constraints, they had to cut. And now when it did so well, Sony sort of greenlit more money. So they were able to sort of not only incorporate all the old stuff that they wanted to do, plus they wanted to bring in more new stuff. So I think for them, that's a pretty good move. And I think for God of War, that's the same story because, yeah, the original 3 God of Wars were good, but will this new reimagining hit at the same level? People did not know. So am I surprised they're reusing these assets? No, because I still think the original God of War, the 2018 version, was another proof of concept. So yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Alrighty, well, it's about time, I guess, pretty much to close the show. I think we've said all the basic you can say. Any final thoughts, J Rock, if you're still with us on the whole Hogwarts thing?
Yeah,
You
I'm still with
excited
you.
at all? Okay, man.
I'm still here, man. Interesting thing about that God of War is that Corey Barlog isn't making the Ragnarok, right?
I do believe you're correct, yeah.
So I'm interested to see how it's going to turn out. I imagine the meltdown if it scores lower than the previous God of War. If it scores maybe, let's say, an 88.
Yeah,
And they will melt. They will melt down too, and they'll call foul and whatnot, and maybe it's still a good score. But yeah, you're right.
Right.
They're still gonna throw a fucking fit. Little children,
That'll be
calm down,
interesting to
children.
see.
All right, keep the noise level to a 1.
I certainly can't wait for that game, that's for sure. Hopefully it comes out this year, but you know what? There's so many freaking games. When games get delayed a little bit, it's not the end of the freaking world, that's for sure. My God, if these games keep taking like 100 hours to complete through, like holy man, they're only gonna have enough time to play 2 or 3 games in a run of a year at this rate. Like I said, I'm nowhere in Horizon Forbidden West, and I'm like, holy hell, most games you'd be almost finished by now. I feel like I'm just starting to get going.
Mhm.
Did I see crap gamers getting attacked by Mooch and ponies for being pro Xbox? He's coming around. No, that guy's not coming around, dude. But anyway,
The fact that he's coming at all is amazing. So.
Hey, FIFA says hi. Well, hello, FIFA. Shit. But anyway, yeah, it's time to close the show. But before we do, it is that holy man, what is going on up there? A snowfall?
Sorry.
That's hilarious.
Smoke
Like,
them if you got them.
you're there.
That's all I got to say.
1 second
Smoke 'em
you're
if you
there,
got
and the
'em.
next second it's like, where did he go? But anyway, guys, obviously it's that time of the night with last ones. Ask Cletus, ask Safe House Sam some questions before we roll out of here. So, anybody got a question for Safe House or for Cletus? Jesse Darby can't wait for Cletus. I know that much. He just lives for Cletus.
Yeah, Jesse Darby, get that question for Cletus,
That question
brother.
for Cletus, man. He's sitting here. J Rock, you got any questions for Safe House or Cletus?
Does he even know who Safe
No,
House
man.
is?
No,
You
probably
got
not.
no.
Right.
Ask any fucking thing to Safe House, man. It'll be fucking funny. Safe House, what's your favorite fucking wrestler?
Right. What's your favorite wrestler in the safe house?
God damn it, that's a great fucking question, you bunch of cock asses. Yeah, fucking favorite wrestler, man, but honestly, I ain't mentioning these two fucking guys, because they all look the same. They all bald, they all stupid, they all got fucking fake ass weird moves. I don't really care for fucking this new age wrestling. I like the old school stuff, man. I like the big guys. You know, I was a big fan of guys like, you know, when you go back in the day and you had the big boss man, you know, because he came in looking all the shit, talking the shit, and swinging the baton, you know, kicking your ass. I like guys like that. And then you had guys like a Big John fucking Stud. He was a goddamn stud. Man was fucking like almost 7 feet tall, fucking crushed you with his hands. Goddamn meat pies for hands, that motherfucker. You know, these big guys, you know, Andre the Giant, he was fucking cool. You know, if nothing else, he was impressive to look at. Fucking, he used to step over the cocksucking rope, motherfucker. You see the size of his goddamn hands? Jesus Christ, my wife, she has orgasms thinking about his fucking fingers bigger than a cock. It's like a goddamn fucking rutabaga. Like, Jesus, the guy can, holy motherfucker. That's what I'm talking about. Those guys are fucking big. I don't know what the fuck they was eating back in them goddamn days, but these sons of bitches fucking huge, man. God damn.
He told you, man. Just fucking. Safe house don't disappoint, man. No.
Yeah.
I got a question for Cletus. So, hey, Cletus, if your mom and your sister were wrestling, who would win and who'd you be rooting for?
Well, hey, Fiddly Diddly, if anybody knows anything about my history and where I comes from, you always got to bet on your mother. I always bet on the mother because she knows best, you know what I'm saying? She can kick your ass, and most importantly, she held the keys. She's going to slap you upside the head. She put you in your fucking corner of your bedroom. She locked the fucking door in there. You ain't getting fed. Don't matter if you go to bed with a black eye or a fucking saucy dick. You gotta eat. You gotta eat. Your mama had all that, and of course your house was so fucking big. It's not like you had an escape route or an elevator or whatever the fuck you want. You had to jump off. We got 3 fucking stories. You know what I'm saying? Goddamn, man, like I broke ankles trying to do that, get out of the house. So, no, I got to bet on mama. She can fucking slap you so hard your fucking eyeball sometimes gets stuck in the fucking ears over there.
You got a lot.
Sorry, I can't.
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, we do.
Jesse Darby always has questions. You better ask Jesse.
We got a whole bunch of them that just.
Cletus, what do you think about just war over? I'm not even going to get in on the war question. So Cletus and Save Us will leave that for another fucking day. So
you got Iceman says safe house. Do you play Elden Ring?
God, Elden fucking Ring. Elden fucking Ring. Elden goddamn fucking cock-ass's ring. Goddamn it. Motherfucker, you had to ask me that fucking question. I see every one of you cocksucker motherfuckers, you playing Elden Ring. Now, you guys masochists or something. You're just not getting kicked in the fucking balls. I mean, yeah, gotta be like, 100 hours in, I died 50 fucking times. You know what? The only thing that dies more than that is fucking with Nuke Nukem, who keep fucking shitting during the podcast. Everything in his house fucking pretty much dies. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn it, Elden fucking Ring. I ain't gonna play that fucking shit. That is just either a hemorrhoid or a fucking aneurysm waiting to happen. That's all that is. And y'all the game of the year, the game of the year, the game of the year. No, motherfucker. There ain't no game of the year. The only thing go get game of the year in my house is VR porn. Some kind of game in there. I'm going to be yanking and spanking, baby.
Dying 50 times in 100 hours, man. That's a pro level shit right there, man. I wish I fucking died 50 times in 100 hours. Elden cock ring.
I actually saw some condoms with the Elden Ring promo on it, and it said on the back, best of beaten. So
now, Noof, I don't care who answers this one, but did you see?
You know what's going to happen? I can see somebody losing a relative, and what they're going to do in the casket, they're going to slip a big old fucking Elden Ring sticker on that says "You died." Hang on, we got a super chat coming in first. Let's get to that. Vic the Click drops $5. Want to read that one out, Mr. Titan Drago? Put it up on the screen for you.
Vic the Click, amazing episode, guys. Thanks for helping me on this 12-hour wine fester. I crying, tears of joy, whatever that is. I'm gonna guess tears of joy. But hey, Safe House, what do you think about that wise old gamer unicorn mask?
First of all, I think that mask is amazing. Honestly, Wise Old Gamer, he should be fucking wearing that goddamn mask the whole podcast because it's sure as hell a lot fucking prettier than his ugly ass mug. So yeah, put that fucking thing on your head, and if it don't fit on your fat head, maybe you can stick the unicorn part up your ass, and then you can just blow smoke somewhere else. Yeah, let's go. Blow smoke up your ass, cock, motherfuckers, cock asses, cock asses, hell.
Listen, I'm always concerned when he cuts the camera off. I wonder what he's doing, man.
He's probably trying to get the mouth open on that fucking pony ass head, but it's starting to get out.
All right.
I'm not a unicorn. I'm an ass corn. My mama was a unicorn. My daddy was a donkey. So I'm not a unicorn. I take offense to that. I'm an ass corn.
Ass corn. Yeah, you look like a fucking corny ass cock, motherfucker. God damn. You definitely look like Pegasus Nation material, that's for sure. They got an opening on their podcast coming up for you there, bitch. You want to sign up over there and you can fucking go talk all you want to Porter Croc.
You asked for the Wise Old Gamer, but you got Porter Rock right here.
We got it. I swear to God, we got into the show before I hear that name one more time, man.
Oh man. All right, last question. Any more questions? Titan? Anybody else?
I think there was a couple more here. They came in fast and furious.
Look at those
Say that
lights on
again?
that pony.
Your wife actually asked one. Safe House, what is your wife like?
Safe House, what is your wife like?
I ain't even married. I just fake that I'm married because it's kind of cool. But honestly, who the fuck would marry my ass? I mean, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Besides, I never buy with it. You know what? I don't want to get married because women do too much fucking work. It's always work. Who needs a job when you just get married? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, talking about the Elden Ring, fuck it. When you're getting married, you got an engagement ring, a wedding ring, and a fucking lifetime of the suffering. Who needs a fucking Elden Ring?
I remember the first time you said that, man. I was dying. Got a couple super chats here at the end of the show. Splendiferous, $2. My balls was a boss in Elden Ring. Noof, you like?
All right. Next one.
Jesse Darby, $2 says, is she tied up and gagged, Safe House?
Pretty hard to gag Safe House, that's for sure.
No, he's talking about your wife.
Oh, Lord. Yes, what are you watching now? We have no idea. This show goes off the rails, let me tell you. But anyway, we have come to the end of the episode. Won't keep these guys any longer. It's been an absolute dynamite show. Did not expect Titan to drop in, but I'm glad that he did. It's never the same without him. So glad that he could make it here. And let's let everyone get out of here. Let's start with our incredible guests tonight, including the Wise Old Gamer, who definitely had us laughing aplenty tonight. Wise Old Gamer, glad you could make it. How have you been? And obviously, let people know what the holy hell.
Well,
the Lord of the Rings, we got Gandalf in here. Holy mother.
Well, full confession, right? Remember when you were young and your parents said, no, don't beat your meat too much because you'll get hairy palms. So I put one and one together. So I had this stuff between the horse's lips. So I put it all over my hair, and here we go.
Oh,
motherfucker looks like an old ass Hagrid.
Hey, it works for my wife, so why couldn't it work for me? That's all I got to say.
We got to get you and Fifalina on the show someday. Holy hell.
Put them two in Drago's corner. Fucking
let them go at it. Yeah. Fifalina and Wise Old Gamer with the wig.
Fucking the winner is our third on the podcast.
Chase Jones, he looks like goddamn Brian May from Queen. It's fucking funny.
This
Robert
is
Plant.
the real life. Sorry, go ahead.
I love midgets. We're glad you come out to the show, and we're glad that we obviously kept your eyelids open at 4 a.m. in the morning. Thank you so much for being here, and to everybody that's new checking out this podcast, whether you're here for the first time or catching us on the replay, it is greatly appreciated. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever works, man. We greatly appreciate it. We hope that you definitely enjoy the show. So, Wize Old Gamer, let people know where they can find you. What's coming up next?
Yeah, so you can find me on the Twitterverse, Wize Old Gamer. That's with a Z. You'll see a lot of my tweets and my memes on a day-to-day basis. Please don't get offended. Also, I do have a YouTube channel. I'm still working on it. I still have a hard time trying to get some of these videos done, but I really appreciate the invite, and I would love to do it again. And yeah, I got to run because the wife is calling, and I'm no weatherman, but I can tell you something. Someone's getting 3 inches tonight.
Okay. There you go.
Let's do this, bro.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, J-Rock, thanks for walking into the shitstorm that we call Gaming After Dark. This is definitely a podcast that you're probably not don't be on a whole lot, I'm sure, like this. But we rock and roll with some great topics. So thank you for being here, man. It's an honor and a pleasure. And let people know what content, things that you got coming up.
Well, right now, I'm working on building my YouTube channel. I'm gonna launch that pretty soon. I'm having help from some people that get in production and whatnot. You might know them. I won't say their names, but yeah, I'm working on that. I'm still doing on my Twitter, trolling like always, and beating up on these ponies and these Sony fanatics.
Yeah,
like Puerto Rock.
Like Puerto Rock. No, Puerto Rock.
I had to get it in there for you.
Has me blocked. Yeah, Puerto Rock has me blocked. All those guys blocked me a long time ago. Yeah, but they go respond me on Twitter, man. I had a great time on this show. I wasn't expecting to be on for this long and still laughing at this time of the night. I'm actually in a taxi going back home. So yeah, I'm having a blast, man.
We're glad you could be here, man. Better than a taxi than an Uber, I suppose. I don't know, but glad you can make it here. We hope to have
Tell
you
the
back
fucking taxi driver to join us once in a while. He's got.
I hope he wasn't listening to the whole Safe House Sam thing there. He's probably like,
right.
What the fuck?
He was cracking up with me.
He's probably like, what the hell are you listening to? Oh man. All right. Well, thanks, J-Rock. We'll have you back in the future, man. Let us know when you're available. Titan Drago, like I said, glad you could be here, brother. And obviously, who gets the honorary Common Back to Sense Award tonight?
Yeah, sorry I was late. But when I tell you I'm fucking not gonna be at a show, fucking just read the fucking reason I tell you. You're like, oh, he's got company or something, motherfucker. But yeah, the my buddy from way back when, Whiskey Mike, he joins the show once in a while, and I went into the Navy with him. And on the buddy system, and he lives in Canada, so he's down for the weekend, but he couldn't make it out to my house tonight. I was expecting it, but he couldn't. So we're gonna do some golfing tomorrow and hang out. But yeah, he couldn't make the show, and I had some work to do tonight. So, but that's the reason why I was late. And as far as the Common Sense Award, I got to give it to Sleepy Goblin 2D for saying, Titan Drago, the children need your wisdom. I've never heard a more factual fucking statement in the chat in my motherfucking life. So you win the Common Sense Award for the week. Everyone needs to be a little bit more like Sleepy Goblin. Until next week, let's bring the Common back to sense.
I got a question for Titan, though. I know we're signing off, but I got one question. You said you joined the Navy, right? Is that because they were looking for a few good men, and so were you?
You know where I ended up, right? You know where I ended up in the Navy? You know?
Going down with a bunch of men. In a
bunch of being surrounded by a bunch of seamen?
Yeah, I was on the submarine, yep. 100 of us went down, 50 couples came up, yep.
Was the foot-long sub the most popular option? Ah, shit. Oh, my God. Jokes for days here, people. Jokes for days. We're trying to be funny. Funny looking. That's about it. Anyway, guys, great show as always. Hope to see you back here next week. What?
The funny thing is, it's really true. Like, you know, the big black penis, you know, like freaking. Because when that sub surfaces after being underway for 6 months, man, them semen shoot out and they just try and impregnate anything. Let me tell you, that's true.
God damn. Hot damn. All right, guys. Well, this has been an awesome show. You know where to find me. Noof Nukem is always in the gutter, but I'm not hanging out with Titan and our crazy ass guests. Then you can find me on Sunday morning for Good Morning Xbox. If you haven't heard already, yes, I've been indicted into the Gamers United Guild. If you wish to check out this channel, as well as many other, including people like Mike Mullis and in Original Next Level Gaming, Retro Renegades, and many other great ones, including Geeks with Cash was in the chat earlier tonight. There's a lot of members from the guild in here. Good to see him here. And so go check it out. Again, that's www.gamersunitedguild.com. Support and be supported. And again, all graphics for this program and more brought to you by the incredible talents of Graphic God. You can check him out at www.xboxgamerpics.com. Get your merch, get your graphics, get going, and do it in style. But anyway, that's it for us tonight. Have a great one, everybody, and we'll see you back here next week. Cloud Gaming.
He's remaking Princess Zelda and my gamer picks as we speak.
Nice. Look forward to it. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Good night, everybody. As Wise Old Gamer disappears into a cloud of smoke. Later, J-Rock.
Later.